talk like they walk like we walk. No, they catching their breath, young and they step.
So I mean, that shit happens everywhere, no problem. The fact is this. Listen, this is my thing. Just to get to
people talk like they walk like we walk. No, they catching their breath, young and they step too slow. North side of PG, what we call.
You know what you mean? Yes, sir.
I'm straight as a perm. Hard to scribble lyrics cause my thoughts are beyond words. Unmatched that.
So it begins, huh?
I'm excited.
You excited?
I'm excited.
Me too.
What I spit is hot burning, like hot to touch, so I'm never concerned with them jealous.
I really don't get with folks that sit around and complain too much and keep trying to act like we're going through what they went through.
They treat us like Jesus, they won't believe us. I'm fed up. I show my
because naturally women support men that's on their shit. If you really want her to be on that same type level with you and beyond, surpass that man.
All right. Yeah.
A person who thinks all the time.
Cylinders. Let's go ahead and get this going. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to get into something. I appreciate everybody. Then we're going to get into some videos, but we got to start this off in a much. I want us to be in a headspace that is of tranquility. And with that being said, I digress. My mic is muted. Thank you all for tuning in. This is your host, Mr. 7. Let's go.
A person who thinks all the time has nothing to think about except thoughts. So he loses touch with reality and lives in a world of illusions. By thoughts, I mean specifically chatter in the skull, perpetual and compulsive repetition of words, of reckoning and calculating. I'm not saying that thinking is bad. Like everything else, it's useful in moderation. A good servant, but a bad master. And all so-called civilized peoples have increasingly become crazy and self-destructive because through excessive thinking, they have lost touch with reality. Most of us would have rather money than tangible wealth, and a great occasion is somehow spoiled for us unless photographed. And to read about it the next day in the newspaper is oddly more fun for us than the original event. This is a disaster. To get in touch with reality, there is an art of meditation, of what is called yoga or jhana in India, Chan in China, and Zen in Japan. It is the art of temporarily silencing the mind, of stopping the chatter in the skull.
Our minds have to be silent some of the time if we are really to have anything to think about except thoughts. Just let your mind alone and stop trying to make sense of the world.
If you were in a flying saucer from Mars or somewhere, and you try and make out what was living on this world, you would see these great ganglia with tentacles going out all over the place. And early in the morning, you see little blobs of luminous particles going into the middle of them, see? And then in the late afternoon or early evening, it would spit them all out again. And they'd say, well, this thing breathes. And it does it in a special rhythm. It goes in and out, in and out, in and out once every 24 hours. But then it rests a day and doesn't spit so much. It just spits in a different way. That's a kind of irregularity. And then it starts spitting all over again the same way. Well, I say that's very interesting. That's this kind of thing we have. See? This is something that goes this way.
Oh man. All right. I appreciate everybody for tuning in. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Just give me a quick second here. Still just kind of getting myself adjusted. Let me go ahead and set ambiance, right? Let me go ahead and set ambiance. Let me see what we got right here. Wow, let's do this. All right, let's get to it. All right, y'all. So I have a couple videos that I want to tap in on. And I mean, this one right here is going to be, I want to go ahead because I really want to say like what I really have for you guys. I want to save that real quick. Wait just a second. Oh my gosh. That is crazy. Anyway, let me turn this down. Wow. I got to remember that. All right. So there we go. So what I want to do is I want to go ahead and tap in on a couple videos. We just going to have some cool, chill, dope fun, man. Like, look, don't want that to get messed up. I would say I had I would say my day thus far has been very much so peaceful. I am so thankful for, honestly, like, it's crazy. Like, I feel like I'm giving up a Thanksgiving speech, but like, seriously though, I am so thankful for being alive. And you want to know the main reason why? Because of the super, absolutely duper dope people that I get to come across still being here. And I'm dead ass when I say I am so thankful for the responses, the interaction. I'm so thankful for just being reminded, because I can speak and say whatever it is that I want to say, right? But when you actually have that, let's say, that grounded reinforcement, I don't know what that was, but it really does something for you. It does. It really does something for you, for your spirit, and everything. All right, y'all. Okay, now. I feel a lot better. I definitely do. Okay. But not really, though. It truly is something. Okay. I appreciate everybody so much. Let me just get comfortable here. Okay. All right. We are in the building. Let's go ahead and do it. All right. All right. So don't mind me. I'm just taking my sweet time because that's just something I that's just something I love to do at this point. Now we about to get into it. All right. So let's go ahead and do this. You know what? Let me set one more measure. Forgive me. Okay. Let's go ahead and see what we got with this one right here. All right. Now, I can absolutely promise you that this one is going to be, this one's going to be controversial. All right. This one right here, this is going to be one that we're going to really have to sit back and go, okay. All right, bet. So, we're going to go ahead and we're going to tap in on a certain specific topic. What is that topic? Let me go to my notes and make sure everything is in order. Now, yes, of course, before we do this, right, I want to make sure that, hold on one second. I want to make sure we take a quick moment, and I want us to remember what being thankful consists of. I want us to remember these things, okay? All right, so let's go ahead and do it. And with that being said, I digress. My mic is muted. We're going to have a very interesting evening. Yes, we are. Stick around. Let's go. So whenever you get to, listen, I just want to make sure that we don't consume ourselves with being super duper spoiled about everything all the time. Whenever you feel like, you know what, where it is that I am is not good enough, I want you to remember that this right here does still exist. All right. So this is what I want us to remember. Let's go.
Ale.
Zate.
All right. So let me tell you what I saw on that, right? Now, I know folks would they're not going to like me for this response. I'm going to tell you this right now. So look, right? Yes, be thankful for what it is that you have. Always be thankful for who's in your life, what's in your life. And all of that. Okay. Now I'm gonna tell you what it is I saw. I can't help. I gotta go there because I'm not going to show this video again more than likely. So while the opportunity presents itself, right? Look, these people, if you can know, like, obviously off rip, he didn't know how to twist the top. Pulled out his knife and he cut it. That's letting you know that this is coming from a village of people that is absolutely, truly in this most rawest and pure form, still connected to the earth. They didn't give them, like, I don't know, alkaline water or something. They didn't give them like, ooh, okay, I'll go like this, a Gatorade. They didn't give them a Gatorade. No, Fanta. They might as well have given them Kool-Aid or Rock Creek. No bull. They might as well have either given them Kool-Aid or Rock Creek. Now, I want us to think about this. Like, we know that so much of the world has been tainted by the poisons of the food industry and everything. And here it is, they will go to the ends of the earth to make sure that everybody gets a taste of this poison. You notice how that was changing? Now, I want us to think about this. I don't know, because I look at it like, is that a lure? So what? Did you, like, get them to taste that? So now, like, shit, we can run a whole village off just giving them Snicker bars, Reese's Cups, and soda. We ain't even gotta give them, like, the real, like, they ain't never had no Popeyes or, you see what I'm saying? Because I know once upon a time, now mind you, during Black History Month, like, real talk though, I remember once upon a time, we was infiltrated in the same way, except it wasn't a soda. It might have been a book. It might have been some other form of influence or persuasion. That's basically my point. Let's go ahead and do this. I appreciate everybody for tuning in. Thank you all for stopping by. Much respect to you. Yeah, I just wanted to make sure I did this live because I really appreciate everybody for stopping in. Like, real talk though. Man, I shit you not, yo. Life is something amazing. And I mean in such a beautiful form. Happy Valentine's Day to everybody. Or Valentine's Eve, right? You know what I'm saying? So let's go ahead and do this. All right, let me get back here. Now we're going to get to the video. There was something I wanted to touch on, and just for the record, I am going to touch on that, but I want to really make sure that I do my due diligence and pull up the right information, because let's just say it's a lot about what I heard today I can relate to. So we're going to get back to that. All right. So let's go ahead. Let's go ahead and do this. Are you guys ready? Cool beans. Let's go. Hold on. Wait a minute. I gotta go in here. I gotta go in here. All right, so hold on. Boom, boom. Let me do this. Hold on. Oh my goodness gracious. Hold on. It's here. It's here. Let me just, there it is. I know I wasn't tripping. All right, y'all. Let's go ahead and get into this. So I'm going to talk about it. I'm going to let y'all know we talk about. Don't worry. All right, so let's get to it. All right, so look. If you are old enough, right, there's always, and you know something, I had to tap in on this one. I had to. All right, so look, this is where we are, right? This is where we are. Now, of course, you know, back when I was coming up, there was two, main predominant forces when it came to hip hop, right? So that's what we're talking about, just so you know. So whoever wants to stick around, okay? There was two main prominent forces in hip hop. And man, when I tell you that the question that is asked right here is a question that many of us, I promise you, this is a question many of us will be like, damn, right? Like, it's just one of those. Oh yeah, I'm gonna give you the suspense today about it. Oh yeah, we gonna do it today, right? But nah, real talk though. Like, let me just say this. I do have my favorite. When it comes to the comparison and the who versus who in this right here. Oh yeah, y'all talking about Kendrick and Drake? All right, everybody talking about Kendrick and Drake. This is old. This is ancient. Yeah, I'm going to tell you now. Listen, watch this. I'm doing this on the book. I'm doing this. All right, I'm doing it. All right. I'm blowing the dust off of this right here. Okay, so we don't need all of the extra nothing. Of course, this is back in the day. Of course, this is something that is ancient at this point. Of course. But I want to talk about it because me and my brother, we used to talk about this all the time. You want to know why? Because I was always one side and he was always the other. But both of us listened to both, right? Both of us listened to both. But I was always one side and he was always the other. Now we're going to get into it. What is the question that you talking about, Smitty? Stop playing with us tonight. Okay, fine. Listen, I had a great day. I enjoyed my mimosas and turkey bacon and conversation, so I feel good. Okay? All right. I had an awesome time. Listen, what I'm trying to get you to understand is this. This is a very, very detrimental question. What is that detrimental question? Let's go ahead and take a further look into what that question is when it comes to hip hop. Now, I want you to type in the comment section if you really, because I know you're going to add some feelings on this. You're going to add some feelings. If you're old enough. Who was better?
All right. I think you definitively going to pick this too. No Limit or Cash Money?
Now that's a tough.
Let's run it back.
All right. I think you definitively going to pick this too. No Limit or Cash Money?
Now that's a tough, that's tough.
You got to load up?
Me and my brother have debated about that in car rides, coming from the studio, just hanging out on the phone, waking up in the house, whatever. Like, bruh, listen to me. We have had discussions about that one right there. Who is better? I don't know. You tell me. This is the first segment of what we're getting into. It's not that long of a video, so we gonna go ahead. I mean, and I'm just saying, you tell me. Let's go.
Who I think make more money or who I respect
Whatever
the
your
most.
criteria is, whatever you want.
Damn, man. What are you doing? Why you doing it, man?
Well, it's the Dominican and the Colombian right there.
Oh, you doing it.
They sniff coke and they just make up the like,
No limit or cash money?
Whoa. God damn.
Yeah, I'm gonna
See, oh, man. Shit.
once you be
All right, so let's just go ahead. We're gonna go ahead and clear the air. All right, let's just go ahead and clear the air. This is where I am on this one. All right, point blank period. I love No Limit. Juvie, BG, definitely. Wayne grew on me later on down the line. Turk never really got a taste for real when it comes to the music. And Manny Fresh is my man. Baby had his moments here and there. No Limit, it is endless. So I'm just making it clear. If y'all want to know which side gang is Smitty on with this one, it's No Limit. Let's go.
truth from that. No political self.
No limit.
All right. Cause yeah, I want to get into this. The at one point Wayne had said some shit. It was a whole thing. You, Wayne, Cash Money. I'm gonna get to that later though.
Hey, Carlito's there too, so it's double. It's double.
That's the cocaine section over here. Colombia. Colombia right there.
Yeah, that's heavy right there, bro.
Cash Money or No Limit?
Listen to this.
My bad. So I'm trying to figure out what is you guys' opinion. What is it exactly that you think on this one right now? If you're old enough, then you know enough, right? If you're old enough, then you know enough. Who made a more prominent, let's say, name or mark in your life during that time frame in which, if you do remember them? Now let's think about it. Even down to, if we just take away the labels itself, let's just take the artists. All right, so artists from Cash Money, and yes, I'm gonna say it, like folks like Nicki Minaj, Drake, Tyga, whatever. Yes, they do count because they, Young Money, Cash, all of that was under the same umbrella. So if Master P can have everything from tennis shoes, a cereal, you know what I'm saying, which is basically Lucky Charms but made for niggas, then I would think that we can add in the extra artists. So let's just go ahead and see what we got. All right, let's do it. Then we're going to go ahead and get to the next video. Let's just chill and have a wonderful evening tonight, because this is dope, man. This is dope as shit. What? All right, let's do it.
That's a good one. That's a real good one. Cash Money. I gotta go Cash Money because them niggas still here.
I mean, No Limit technically still here.
No, I don't see. This is what I don't do.
Cereal.
I don't judge it off of that. I just go off of what I banged.
Hey, and I love MC8 for that. Shout out to 8. Shout out to 8 for saying that, man. I ain't know. Absolutely. Shout out to M for saying that. Nah, it's just like, listen, man. It's about what we just used to just crank hardish. Like, we didn't do too much. It's like, it was a certain point and like even gangster rap, hip hop, whatever you want, when all of it was mixed in, when we had the whole genres of hip hop, actual hip hop, right? And then we also had rap, just who are rappers, right? Lyrical, whatever. And then we had like gangster rap, right? And then you had your other whole different genres that was like outskirts of it, but it was all in the same category. It is very true. When we used to listen to music, that's not what it was that we was focused on. Not at all. That wasn't what it was that we was headed towards with that. You see what I'm saying? So let's go ahead and get back to it. And with that being said, I digress. My mic is muted. Let's rock out.
Yeah, right.
Okay, yeah, I'm gonna get my shot ready.
She pulled up some shots for you. You want them right there.
So you gonna drink to that?
What?
Yeah, we just took
This is cash money or what?
Come on, let's do it again.
No limit.
No limit. Hey man, both man.
Yeah,
hey man, those trailblazers, man, pioneers.
Nah, okay, listen, I get them. They just, we know how that go. Like, you just don't want to sound like, listen, the fact is, it's just on some fun, like, you know what I'm saying, growing up, who would, listen, watch this, right? Growing up, I love Hulk Hogan as well as Ultimate. What growing up, that is, not when we found out who he really is, right? But growing up, I love Hulk Hogan and Ultimate Warrior. They were arch nemesis. You know what? Growing up, when it came to the characters and stuff, I loved He-Man and Skeletor. That's right. I liked the allies that was with He-Man, and I liked the enemy foes that was also allied with Skeletor. My point in saying this, I know I'm getting corny with it, but no, real talk. Like, it's just a question about who did you like more. We all know what it is. So let's see what we got.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with both because you know why? Master P.
Both.
Master P could have signed Cash Money. You know what I'm saying? And I think that when Master P started getting commercial, No Limit picked up right where they left. Cash Money picked up right where No Limit left off when they started doing a lot of commercial shit.
Cash Money or No Limit? Damn. Fuck y'all. Cheers.
Movements right there.
They are.
Shit.
I'm gonna tell you some Cash Money because Juvie Cash Money. BG was the shit, dog. BG, they was all good.
BG and Juvie. Yeah. Wayne came into his form later. Turk just was riding off everybody else, but that shit was really like Juvie first, BG, Wayne, and Turk was just riding off coattails. What's my man name? Manny has always been that guy. Manny back in the day was on the same level, damn near, as Timberland himself. If we really think about the height of Hot Boys and what Manny was doing, he was right there with the best of them. Let's go.
Cash Money roster.
Man, I banged the Hot Boys album.
Yeah.
I banged the fuck out of that motherfucker. City. Yeah, it was cracking. That album that they all had together, the Hot Boys, I banged the fuck out of that shit.
Setting that off was shot. Gotta get the boy.
Big shot. Thank you. Big fucking shot. Yeah, big shot. Let's see big letters.
You know what? I want to big up, while we talking about that, I want to big up Master P. Him coming out. Wayne for that award, or whatever it was. But the fact is, for years, we always heard these rumors about Cash Money and No Limit having problems. And whether it's true or not, the fact that Master P came out that night and he walked on stage by himself.
Crazy.
I didn't listen to it.
It's not about having, listen, things definitely have gotten real in the industry, okay? Folks have been punched in the eye off of somebody coming in the studio. Folks have really been like shot, all of these type of things. I'm just saying, like, with that right there, it just more so was they both were giants at the same time. Like, that's it. That's all. Both were giants at the time in which that they were doing music, right? So I think that's the part that should be focused on the most, more so than like actual real beef. But I mean, when I tell you, let me fix my everything. and do this the right way. Forgive me, y'all. Forgive me. My bad. Okay. No, it just really that's primarily what, at least me personally, what I've seen. Right? So let's go ahead and see what we got.
Like Master P is cool. I was gonna sign the No Limit at one time.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Right before I signed the Hoop Out here. I was gonna sign the No Limit. But I didn't listen.
That would have been before Snoop?
That was right before I signed the Mac 10.
And me to see the Hot Boys reunited, and but me to see Master P walk outside on that stage, but he walked out by himself. Like he could have had one of his goons with him. He could have had security with him.
It used to be like that at one point in time.
He came out right by himself. That was some.
Fair use, fair use, fair use. This is for educational as well as entertainment purposes only. Let's go.
Oh man, shit. I respect you, Master P. Thank you.
Cash Money and No Limit.
Oh shit. No Limit all day. Yeah, I gotta go with No Limit, man. Like I said earlier, they're OG with it.
And they were
they're
first.
OG with it. You're right,
first,
man. Shout out to Master P, like I said earlier. Master P's a fucking genius, man. There are guys straight fucking genius, dog. And Master P played together. Yeah, he did.
Are we going just Cash Money, or we got everybody under Cash Money?
Yes, the labels, whatever you want, however you want to see it.
When the temperature drops, you've got two.
My bad. Are you serious? I actually think about these things when people get to talking about it the whole night. Let's go ahead and get to this next video. I'm gonna go ahead and pull this up. I swear, yeah. I swear on everything, dog. Shit. It's beautiful though. All right, so y'all ready? We're gonna go ahead and get to this next video. Now, we gonna listen to some bombs being dropped. Okay, we're gonna listen to bombs being dropped. We're gonna be in a state of basically where we're entertained, most definitely, but we're also learning something. Okay, now of course y'all already know that's what I gotta make sure I bring and provide to you now, right? Because I gotta be a man of my word. Gotta give you what I said I was gonna give you. Now let's go ahead and do this. Rise in respect to everybody in the building. Now, what I want us to do is this. Y'all know me. Listen, my show was, look, it's going to be all over the place. It's going to be all over the place. You want to know why? Because I actually realized, like, yo, just have your show and do your show how you do your show. So, all right, hold on. So now we're going to get into something, because whether you have a family, whether you're somebody who lives alone, whatever it may be, a lot of people have asked this question right here. A lot of us have asked this question. So let me make sure I see what's the duration of this. Oh, good. It's not that long of a video, and I'm not even going to play the whole thing. Possibly, or I might. I don't know. We'll see how I feel as the video goes, right? But nah, real talk though. Let's go ahead and get into it. Let's think about spiritual connection. One more again for the win on the week of love. Spiritual connection. All right, y'all, let's go. I digress. My mic is muted. Let me see something here. Hold on. Let me do this. I'm so sorry. All right, boom. All right, there we go. Bow. Now let's pull this up. Now, boom, boom. Okay. Let's go. Let's do it. It's fucking crazy, dog. I swear, y'all. It's just wild. Y'all ready? Let's go ahead and listen to something that we normally don't hear. Or we may kind of knew that we knew this, because you know what I always was taught growing up? I was always taught growing up that those who can see into the afterlife and things of that nature are animals and babies. Let's go.
Why does your dog bark at nothing? Spoiler alert, it's not nothing. They're sensing things you can't even imagine. In this video, we're revealing 11 strange things dogs can see, hear, and sense that you can't. What you don't know about these abilities could leave you clueless when your dog is trying to warn you. And wait until you hear about the final point. It's a really scary one. But before we get into it, give this video a thumbs up and subscribe. It really means the world to us. Now, let's decode the mystery of what's going on in your dog's world. Number 11. Dogs can feel the Earth's invisible compass. Did you know dogs might have a built-in GPS? Some scientists think dogs can sense the Earth's magnetic field using special receptors in their noses or eyes. That's why they often spin around to align themselves north-south before doing their business.
Does anybody have a dog? Have you ever noticed, one, before your dog lays down, why do they always turn in circles? Two, before your dog goes to the restroom, why do they always roam in like a circle? Let's listen more. See, it's a lot deeper than what we know. I'm going to do the best that I can to expand information in all ways in which, heck, this is what I do when I'm not chilling around you guys. Let's go.
This magnetic sense might also explain their incredible ability to find their way home, even across long distances. Next time.
Has anybody ever lost a dog and somehow another a week later or something, old 5-0 and came back west?
Home, even across long distances. Next time your dog seems to aimlessly circle before settling, they might actually be aligning with the planet's invisible compass. Try.
Whoever would have thought that? Before they go to the bathroom, they align with the earth. Now, mind you, right? There is an old saying that dogs are man's best friend. As far as like from the animal kingdom, because human wise, no, it's not a dog, something else. Let's go.
Try watching their routine and see if they follow a pattern. It's their way of staying connected to the earth. Number 10.
Wow. So here it is. We just thinking they just doing some random stuff whole time. Like, in like anybody, like if you've ever like walked a dog or whatever, it's crazy. Like, you ever notice how when they're not on a leash, if you ever had them in that like open field space, and how they kind of zigzag, how they kind of find a nose stays to the ground. And we look at this as all typical things. You know what we look at it as? A very, very basic state of, oh, they just are sniffing out to try to smell for an animal or something. Maybe they picked up some deer droppings or something, because I have a lot of land in the back and I remember every last bit of this that I'm hearing about. I saw it. Matter of fact, God, I'm going, listen, let's go.
Dog's night vision puts yours to shame. Your dog could probably see better than you during a midnight snack run.
Now, you know what makes that so interesting? Aren't we usually thinking to ourselves that dogs see in black and white, right? Haven't we all heard this before? Oh, the dog sees in, sorry about that, you guys. The dog sees in black and white. So how is it that something that sees in black and white can see better than us at night? Oh, okay, bet. You know what? It's very true. They do smell better, like the scent receptors and the hearing receptors are millions times more than what it is that we have going on as the best of humans. But let's listen to what scientists really say. Let's go.
Thanks to a shiny layer in their eyes called the tapetum lucidum, dogs can reflect light back into their retina, making nighttime seem less dark. They also have more rods in their eyes, which lets them detect motion better in low light. This helps them spot a squirrel scurrying around even at dusk. So, don't be surprised why your dog seems completely unbothered on a pitch-black walk. It's because they're navigating with superhero-level night vision. So give them credit, they're not just guessing. Number 9. Dog.
What? The night vision is of that depth, absolutely out of this world.
Dogs can see UV light and secret patterns. Most people think dogs only see in black and white, but that's far from the truth. Dogs can actually detect ultraviolet or UV.
Do you guys see that? We thought dogs see in black and white. That's how dogs see. According to how science has calculated this over, of course, decades, if not maybe a century and some time now of study. Come to find out, all this time, we actually thought that dogs saw in black and white. We thought that that's what it was. No. Right? Isn't that something absolutely out of this world? Let's get it.
UV light, which lets them see patterns and colors humans never will. For example, flower petals look like glowing signs to them, and certain markings on animals are clear as day. Even more fascinating? UV light helps dogs spot things like old stains or animal trails. So if your pup sniffs at something invisible, they're probably picking up UV details.
Now, listen, this isn't old. Why you think law enforcement uses them? Don't you know when you walk into a room and we can't see it in the normal light? It's real easy. It's real simple. I'm going to take us into a dog's vision. We've all had that moment where we've seen a room be turned out completely black, and then they turn on the UV light, and all of a sudden we can see all kind of stains. Let's just say stains. When the light is turned off and you hit that UV, what we see is how they see. And here it is, we're thinking they're colorblind.
You could try using a UV flashlight to see some of what your dog notices. Just be prepared to clean. Number 8. Dogs hear sounds you'll never notice. Ever wonder why your dog perks up at seemingly nothing?
All the time. All the time. What are you barking at? What are you, you looking outside? You just don't seem to get it. Let's figure out what that answer is. Let's go ahead and let's take a deeper look into this before we get to the next video.
Dogs hear high-pitched sounds far beyond our range, including the squeaks of dog whistles or distant animal calls. This is why events like fireworks or thunderstorms can overwhelm them. Those sharp, intense noises hit their ears hard. Even everyday things like a mouse scurrying in the walls are crystal clear to dogs.
Can you imagine that? Can you imagine the sound of a mouse scurrying through your walls is equivalent to a whole full-grown human coming down wooden steps and you're standing at the bottom of them?
If your pup seems anxious, try drowning out these frequencies with calming music. Their super sensitive ears might just need a little break from their noisy world. Now, before we continue, we're curious about your thoughts. Which of your dog's unique skills has surprised you the most?
I'm not going to lie. I would definitely say during the time, rest in peace to D-Boy and Scoot, right? Just got to give a little tribute real quick. I'm definitely going to say his ability to just find his way into the trash can. That's right. That's right. I don't know what it was. I don't care what you did. You can like, you know, trying to turn the bag upside down. Somehow or another, you would come back the next morning. You know, you tied the bag up. You turned it upside down and it's in the bin outside in the garage. And you know he can't turn doorknobs. Somehow or another, you come out the next day, the trash can lid is flipped open, but not flipped over. Somehow or another, the trash bag is turned up right like where the knot is. So I would turn it down like the knot that I tied would go down. And somehow or another, I would come out. Man, his ability to be a damn trash digger. Okay, that was the most amazing thing that D-Boy, rest in peace, D-Boy. That was the most amazing thing that D-Boy has ever done.
Share your experience in the comments. And let's see if others have noticed something similar with their furry friends.
We got 2 more. Let's go.
Number 7. Dog's movement radar is always on.
On your dog doesn't just see you move, they feel it. A special part of their brain processes movement, making even the tiniest twitch impossible to miss. Whether it's your hand reaching for a treat or a bug flying across the room, they're on it. This skill makes them amazing hunters and great at reading your body language too.
But you know something that's wild though? You know, I was looking that up when it comes to the 2 cats are better. Cats are better.
If you're training your dog, remember they can catch even subtle changes in your posture. So consistency is key. They're always tuned in, so think of your movements as their secret signals. Number 6, dogs are emotional superheroes. Your dog is like an emotional sponge, soaking up every vibe you give off.
You ain't never had that moment where like you had a rough day, you come in and it's just something about it. They just sense it. I don't know. It's just, you didn't walk in and say, "Hey, Fluffy, I had a horrible day, Fluffy." No, you don't say that. No, not at all. You know what happens? You just come home. One day you just come home and things aren't right. And they just, I don't know. It's just something about what they read, what they sense. And it's like you didn't say nothing, but you know what? The way they come, and it's like, it's something about that laying their head in your lap. Dead ass. I know. Everybody knows the whole on the couch move, and they know how to place themselves in that perfect position to just lay their head on your lap. And you know what they do? And they start looking up at you. They don't move their head. They just kind of look up at you. Somebody knows what I'm talking about. It's a real thing. And it's just like, and then you know what's crazy? You know what's even more crazy? You'll even have times where like they'll bust out of nowhere, right? And they'll give you like a deep sigh. So now you didn't tell the dog you're upset. You come in the house, you sit down on the couch, keys, then the dog comes up, looking at you, and just for a second, then they hop up on the couch. Them just for, you know what I mean? And then they just lay down, and then they put their head in your lap, and then they kind of keep glancing their eyes up at you. And they can even tell, it don't have nothing to do with if you're petting them or nothing. All of a sudden, it's been so many times I just hear a deep sigh. He'll just and I didn't do it before him. He sighed for me. Oh, shout out to D-Boy, man. Shout out to Dino, man.
They can detect changes in your posture, voice, or even the chemical signals your body releases when you're stressed or happy. This is why they often comfort you when you're sad or get extra playful when you're excited. If you're ever feeling down, spend some quiet time with your dog. They'll pick up on your feelings and respond with love. Think of them as your built-in emotional support system, always ready to lift your spirits. Number 5, dogs feel heat like superheroes.
Now, let me just say that, listen, Just like how I explained, like the whole spend some time with your dog. That sounds a little like, you know what I'm saying? No life. No. Just when you going through it, I'm telling you, I know anybody who has listen, cats included, dogs and cats. It's something about these animals. When you going through some shit, they just, I don't know. It's like they'll just come and sit around you. They just sit around you. Like they just be there. And then you know what we find our crazy asses doing at times? Get the pet in their ass like, yeah, because these people gonna appreciate me on my job. We'll actually get to like real deal telling them our whole day's story. My bad. Here. You good? Okay. Okay. We'll get to telling them our whole day's story. And it's just something about, now, mind you, right? Man's best friend. Okay, cool beans. So we got one that's man's best friend. Now the other was revered, was an actual deity and god to the Egyptians, and that's the feline. It's something about the spiritual connection with these two particular animals and humans. Are we them? Are they us? No. Don't start talking crazy stuff, okay? No, we're humans. We are above that. But the connection that can be so similar to the comfort of what an actual loved one can give you human-wise, it's out of this world. Let's go.
Rose. Your dog can feel your warmth even in the pitch dark. Dogs have heat sensing abilities that let them detect body heat radiating from people, animals, or
Native in the building. What's going on, family? All right, now, dogs, in my opinion, have evolved to be extra sensitive to humans per their intricate relationship where they must communicate. Man, come on now. Listen.
Objects.
Hold on.
This skill.
What? Come on. Hey, Native. How we know they just got to go to the bathroom? You ever notice just how they move around, whatever's going on? We just seem to peep. We just know, like, oh yeah, you got to go. Oh, no, let me hurry up. You ain't about to mess up this floor. That's right. How we just know they want to play. There was no words involved with that. They did a few gestures, like nudge something towards you, then get in that stance, like I'm ready to chase it. No words are involved. Now watch this. This is the part that's so crazy about all of this. Yo, you just opened up a gateway, Native. Oh my gosh. Just opened up a floodgate of thoughts. Extra, listen, I'm going to keywords in this fine print. Extra sensitive, those are keywords, fine print. Intricate relationship, fine print, okay? Communication without human words, fine print. Why do we have such a hard time communicating as people? Here it is. We can have a whole nother creation of life that's not even human, that somehow or another, we don't even need to say no words. Listen, you can be on the phone with the person you love, your relative, your best friend, a coworker, your neighbor, whoever it is that in traffic, who just cut you off, whatever it is. What is it about us as people that just really sparks something? Fine print, extra sensitive, fine print, intricate relationship, fine print, communicate without human words. That's all that's highlighted, fine print. Why do we as people have such a hard time doing that? But they got it right. It was never taught how to communicate with us. You know what's wild too? Watch this. We can give a dog a command, sit, whatever. Let's just be for real. When they bark at us, to this very day, let's just be honest, people. To this very day, what do we say? What's that, girl? What's that, Lassie? What? Timmy stuck in a well? Timmy stuck in a well? What do we like? Let's be for real. We all, whenever a dog barks, we just think something's on fire, a cat's caught in a tree, or Timmy's stuck in a well. Let's just cut the shit. How is it that we can just come in the house, sit down, not say one word, and they know you just had a bad day, huh? Ain't that something?
Ill, inherited from their hunting ancestors, helps them locate prey or cozy spots to snuggle. They can even pick up changes in your body temperature, which might explain why they stick close when you're feeling unwell.
Cats, I spoke about it before as well. So just to help, because we want to make sure that we include it. We like to be a little bit inclusive of it. Not too much now, but a little bit inclusive. So they can sense that body heat, temperature change. You know what cats are capable of doing? You know how, like, anybody, if you've seen videos or whatever, a cat, like, while you laying down, say like you're on your back and you're just laying in your bed, and they'll come lay on your stomach, like your torso area. Now, first and foremost, what that has to do with is the simple fact that cats love body warmth. Second, most importantly, when a cat purrs, and I've spoke about this multiple times, a cat purrs actually has hurts. You know how when they try to do chemotherapy, do you know what chemotherapy has to deal with? Hurts. It's hurts. They induce hurts in your body that is supposed to disrupt the, I guess, disease pattern of frequency that's going on. Cats literally have a hurts, and I'm going to pull it up. I got you. Don't worry. Then we'll get to the other stuff that we're going to get into all of the regular ass relationship stuff. Just so y'all know, we're going to get into all of that. I like at times, because over here, I gotta be that channel that gives you something different from time to time. Nobody's going to talk about no shit like this, but guess what? A whole bunch of people got pets. So how well do you know your best friend or best friends? Let's go.
If your pup keeps curling up near you, they might just be drawn to your warmth. To help them stay comfortable, make sure their bed is in a warm spot during.
And what I was saying about the hertz with a cat, so a cat's purr gives off the perfect amount of, I don't know if it's 7.7 or 17 hertz. We'll look it up. Watch. We're going to look it up together. I promise you. Google it for yourself behind me while we playing this. A cat's hertz actually can heal diseases in the body. Did you know that a cat laying on your chest? Now, I know people like, I'm allergic, blah, blah, blah. I ain't having no animal on me. I'm not talking like white people. I'm speaking from the organic nature sense of like the actual properties, just like how bees are so important because they pollinate. But yet a lot of us got allergies, but we know how important the pollen is. That's all that I'm speaking about. I'm not saying go have animals just lay on you, okay? Because I know how people like to get the, oh my gosh, Smitty, stop it, okay? Let's be adults. Let's grow up and let's do this the right way. Let's rock out.
Colder months. Number 4, dogs smell secrets. You can't hide. Did you know your dog's sense of smell is up to 1 million times better?
Hold on now. So, fellas, if you know you be cheating and you got a dog at home with your wife, don't come home if you cheated, because somehow or another, apparently, you know what I'm saying, little 5-0 goes west is going to know exactly what you just said. Let's go. And I know that's a mouth. That's not the point. That's not the point. Okay. Just let me rock out how I rock out. Just let me do what I'm doing. Okay. And we're just going to have some fun. We're going to do this the right way. Let's get back to it. Respect.
Better than yours? They can sniff out pheromones that reveal fear, aggression, or even attraction. That's why they often react differently to strangers. They're literally smelling emotions. Dogs also pick up human pheromones, sensing stress, pregnancy, or even illness. Think of their nose as a detective tool uncovering a hidden world of smells. If you want to bond with your pup, let them sniff around. It's their way of exploring and making sense of the world. Number 3, dogs see the world in their own colors. Most people think dogs see in black and white, but that's a myth. Dogs can actually see blues, yellows, and shades of gray, giving them a limited but functional color vision.
So, listen, this is something that a lot of people don't know. When you go buy your dog's toys, you should get them blues, greens, and or gray. A gray stuffed animal chew toy, a blue stuffed animal chew toy, a green stuffed animal chew toy will be highlighted throughout everything else in your house. They will see it more than anything else. Everything else will be kind of blurred and it'll just mesh and mix in with everything else until they get up on it and smell it, of course. They'll know it because of their fur, their everything chewing on it. They can smell it. But outside of that, vision-wise, blue, greens, and grays. Let's go.
Their world might not be as vibrant as ours, but it's far from dull. This color perception helps them distinguish objects, especially in outdoor settings where blue skies and green grass create contrast. If
you see, what? Look. Don't mind me on that pause. You know what that pause was? That pause was when I've learned something that I've seen my whole life and never made a connection to. And then just one day, my bad. I wish I would have told me, let me go ahead, bow. And just one day, you hear something and it all kicks in. Let's listen to that. I'm sorry. That made me smile because I'm serious. I'm smiling because I love when I gather new data, new info, yo. It's not just hair under this big hat. Let's go.
Dull. This color perception helps them distinguish objects, especially in outdoor settings where blue skies and green grass create contrast. If you
God set the listen, it goes so deep, yo. Listen, my mind just went down a rabbit hole because it goes so deep. Because now I go back to how our loving creator has designed the planet. Now I go all the way back there. It takes me all the way back to that point. Majority of the earth is green. Most days on sunny, whatever, outside of snow and stuff like that and rain, overcast, the sky is blue. Why? Because we know the reflection of the ocean. Hold on. And here it is with everything else that same blue sky and that same green grass does for the entire planet. That's that one particular species for that one particular reason that it benefits them. And that actually helps them navigate and see contrast. On a sunny day, your dog sees excellent. But simultaneously, in the pitch blacks of the night, they see just as well. Ain't that something? Let's go.
If you want to choose toys or accessories your dog will notice, go for blue or yellow.
Okay. Blue or yellow. Got it. Okay. Blue or yellow. Good stuff. All right. I don't know. I wanted to tap in on that. To me, that was dope. To me, I actually really did enjoy that right there. That was just really something right there. But what we're going to do right now, because mind you, listen, I'm going to get into all the lovey-dovey stuff, whatever stuff tomorrow. Listen, I got something special. Don't y'all worry. I want to talk about something that is really, really All right, so I want us to really think about this right here, okay? Constructive interference. What I want us to think about right now is, okay, so apparently there's a scientist that actually solved the laws of vibration. Now I know you like, that sounds boring. I'm about to click off of here. Let me go ahead to something else. Whatever. Laws of vibration. Do you know what the laws of vibration consist of? Don't you know how we say it's a vibe? What's a vibe? What's a vibe? Vibe is short for vibration. Scientists solve the laws of vibration. So everything that we say is a vibe. And right behind it, the desires of frequency. Okay? The desires are frequencies. We're about to learn a lot, but we're also about to be very, very much so drawn in. Okay? So are you ready for that magnetic connection? You ready? You ready for that magnetic connection? All right. Let's go ahead and get to it. And with that being said, let me make sure. Okay, I digress. My mic is muted. Let's go ahead and do this right here. Here we go. I'm gonna be back in a second. I'm gonna just let this play. Trust me, I'll be good. I'll be right back. Let this go.
How many of you have ever heard of the universal law of attraction? How many of you believe in the universal law of attraction? Because if you don't, you're about to. Because for 22 years, I never believed in any of that spiritual mumbo jumbo until one day I found a law in the physical universe. It's a law in physics. You might want to write this down. It's called constructive interference. And it says that when two wavelengths of equal length meet, the size of the frequency doubles.
This is the law of attraction, backed by the science of constructive interference. At its core, it's a wave phenomenon. When two or more waves meet and are in phase, meaning they sync up perfectly, they combine to form a wave of even greater amplitude. Think of two perfectly timed ripples in a pond. When they intersect, they create a larger combined ripple. But what does this have to do with the LOA? Everything. Consider this: your thoughts, emotions, and intentions can be thought of as waves, each with its own frequency. When these frequencies are in harmony, their combined power is magnified. This is precisely how tuning forks work. Strike one, and another with the same frequency will begin to vibrate in response. Your thoughts and desires can be tuned into actual frequencies, causing the universe to respond in kind.
But what this means is that you can get energy from conversation. You can get energy from what I'm telling you right now.
Let's go there. He's absolutely right. He is absolutely right. You can get energy from what he's saying. You can get energy from the conversation in which what it is that he is talking about. Let me go ahead and do that. Bow. Okay, boom. You can get energy from what it is that he talks about, right? I bet. Very true. Now, this is why we must be very, very careful. What type of conversations do we have? Who do we have these type of conversations with? This is something for you to just simply think about in your life. Just in life. Your social circle, at work, family, you name it. What did those discussions consist of? That's very important. Let's keep on rocking up.
You can get energy from the people around you, or they can take energy away from you. So as I went down this spiritual rabbit hole, I said, well, where does this frequency come from? It comes from the brain. It comes from an area of the brain called the gray matter.
This groundbreaking knowledge has been present in our scientific archives for a while, but has been overshadowed by louder voices in the scientific community. One might wonder why something so transformative hasn't gained more traction. Perhaps, as with many discoveries that challenge our conventional paradigms, it's because they're disruptive to established ways of thinking. Knowing this, how can one harness the power of constructive interference in their own life? By ensuring that your thoughts, intentions, and emotions are aligned. When they are in sync, they become a potent force, drawing to you what you desire with increased intensity. It's as if the universe operates on the same principles as the science of waves. When you're in tune with what you desire, when your frequencies are aligned, the universe can't help but respond. It's not magic, it's science.
No, it's not magic. There is science involved. No, that right there is exactly what it is. That are the parts that we really don't like. Even in them explaining this, I love the fact that we're able to get enough informational knowledge to relay a message to where we can at least get an idea. I promise you, they still don't know the full encompass, the full encompassness of it. This is something extremely outside of our realm. And that is something that I always pay the respects to, because man will never be on the same level as our loving creator. For there is a creator and then there's a creation. Which do you see came first, in that chicken and the egg? Let's go.
The science behind constructive interference and the LOA isn't a contemporary revelation. It has, in fact, been echoed across ancient scriptures, each reflecting this truth through its unique perspective. For where 2 or 3 gather in my name, there am I with them. Matthew 18:20. Rather than simply suggesting the mere physical gathering of individuals, this verse from the Bible emphasizes the magnified power stemming from collective intentionality. It's not just about being together, it's about the amplified force that arises when aligned intentions intersect, a direct nod to the principle of control.
And that's the part I love to tap in on right there. Let's listen to that again. It's not just about being together.
Reflecting this truth through its unique perspective.
Yes.
For where 2 or 3 gather in my name, there am I with them. Matthew 18:20. Rather than simply suggesting the mere physical gathering of individuals, stemming from collective intentionality. It's not just about being together, it's about the amplified force that arises when aligned intentions intersect.
The amplified force that arises when the intentions are in effect. Absolutely magnificent. And once again, strike down the bowling alley for what it is that I know, what it is that I speak about often, and so often. Intentions. And I get that more so from like, I guess you can say, the biblical effects of things, or spiritual. There we go. Not biblical, spiritual. The spiritual effects of life, like everything that comes with genuine, that organic, true connection, that is a spiritual connection. It's nothing physical.
A direct nod to the principle of constructive interference. As we delve deeper, it becomes evident that numerous age-old proverbs and teachings mirror this scientific concept. Could it be that these ancient writings were indirectly referring to constructive interference in the context of our thoughts and intentions? Consider the sacred texts from diverse traditions, the Upanishads from India, the Yi Jing from China, and the Tao Te Ching. Each of these venerable scriptures contain insights and verses that emphasize harmony, alignment, and amplification of energies. The terms they employ and the stories they narrate might well be their unique way of describing what today's scientists term as constructive interference. In essence, the alignment of thought waves, the synchronization of intentions, and the
See, that's what I'm talking about. The synchronization of intentions. Goodness gracious. Let's go ahead and open that one up real quick. So, as somebody who was recognized, I guess you can say, where all of the different flows and dynamics come from, right? 1 second, y'all. Hold on, please. 1 second, y'all. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna do as much as we can on this and wrap it up. My bad, y'all. So what I see with this is, hold on 1 second.
Active interference. In essence, the alignment of thought waves.
That's what it was. The alignment of thought waves. That's exactly what it was. Now, what it is that I peep game and notice is that because now, mind you, see, the thing is that we have to recognize everything that we are seeing in this video that, is able to be, cut short. See, we have to recognize there are a lot of things that are made into shorts. You ever watch something where you see them, they're moving like a chipmunk and they're speeding up? But whole T, you can tell everything that they're really showing you, that was probably hours, if not a day or two. Sometimes stuff has to sit overnight, part of the video. That had to soak in this liquid or this seasoning, whatever. And then they come back to it. They're right back on the video. You think it's just that same motion. No, that's not what it is. That's a whole nother day. They might even get on there and put on the exact same thing. No, seriously, we got to understand how all these things work. My point is that you ever seen how they'll go ahead and do that and scrunch a whole video into like 8 minutes? You ever seen how, like, again, they can, like the comedian said, they can take a whole hour-and-a-half game and scrunch that in a news broadcasting into like 5 minutes. That was a whole game they just scrunched down and talked about. From first halftime to ending field goal winning kick. Things take time. That is exactly what it is that I've seen. And it's crazy because of how all of this be working. Like, just when we realize that the universe and how the dynamics of all of it works is, shit, I tell you right now, I love stuff like this because it continuously reminds me, no matter how smart I might think I am at the moment, no matter how much I may think I know at the moment, it's always something out there you don't know nothing about. And it's a beautiful thing because it always gives me something to reach for. Let's rock out.
The synchronized.
Let's see, what time is it? Yeah, we got 25 minutes.
Of intentions and the potent magnification that results from their convergence might not be modern-day revelation, but an age-old wisdom waiting to be reinterpreted and rediscovered in the light of contemporary science. Take a moment and pick up your phone. No matter its brand or model, one underlying principle allows it to function: connectivity through frequencies. But as you're about to discover, these frequencies aren't just for texting or streaming a video. They're an emblematic allegory for the untapped potential that exists within us, akin to the mysteries of the universe itself. Mobile phones function using electromagnetic waves, a spectrum of frequencies that allow for communication across vast distances. A call or message sets off a chain of events that converts your voice or text into digital signals. These signals, with the help of a specific frequency, are transmitted across the airwaves until they reach the intended receiver and are then converted back into voice or text. But it's not just about the conversion, it's about the seamless dance of frequencies that make this process near miraculous. Now, dive a little deeper. Let's think about what these frequencies signify. They represent the invisible thread of connection, which, while not seen, is undoubtedly felt and
Don't mind me. That's just one of the moments where you just gotta sit and where you just gotta stop and let something sit. Wow.
Experienced. Just as your phone sends and receives these invisible waves, your thoughts and intentions send out their own frequencies into the universe.
We seem to have a basic understanding of this. I think what I'm saying here, everyone in the room understands this when we're using our phones. However, when it comes to life, we get lost. We don't seem to understand it. Well, let's try and understand it. Let these lines represent levels of vibration. Every vibration is referred to as a frequency. We operate on frequency. My voice is being amplified on a particular frequency. You and I think on frequencies. Thought is energy. Do you know your thoughts are the most potent form of energy there is? Your thought would make the laser beam look like a toy. Thought waves are cosmic waves that penetrate all time and space. Now,
honestly, guys, after the last couple of weeks,
so thought waves are like, hold on. I want to go back on that. I actually want to go back on that. I actually have to hear that part just one more again for the win. And I thank him for this. Like, I really appreciate this wisdom. Let's go.
Energy. Do you know your thoughts are the most...
Oh my gosh. I've been talking and doing this the whole time. I didn't know the video was down. Let me start. I'm so sorry, y'all. God dang it, man. I hate when that happens. Forgive me. IG, YouTube, forgive me. Let's go ahead and get it. Hold on. There we go. Let's do it. Shit. All right, so let's go right here. Where we at? We're right here.
In the physical universe, it's a look. Let these lines represent levels of vibration. Every vibration is referred to as a frequency. We operate on frequency. My voice is being amplified on a particular frequency. You and I think on frequencies. Thought is energy. Do you know your thoughts are the most potent form of energy there is? Your thought would make the laser beam look like a toy.
To think. My thoughts, your thoughts, our thoughts are that powerful. You know, it really makes you think when you start diving deeper into like the whole, maybe say like X-Men, the whole telepathy, Professor X type, you know, Jean Grey. People moving things with their mind. Again, this is going to be for that select few. I have no problems with it. Because over here, I'm going to do what I want. Much respect to y'all, man. I appreciate everybody for coming through. Let's go ahead and get through the rest of this video while we still got some time left on our hands.
Thought waves are cosmic waves that penetrate all time and space. Now, let's suppose this is the frequency that you're thinking on. If that's the frequency you're thinking on, that's going to dictate the results that you get. The results you get are nothing but the manifestation of your own thinking. We become what we think about. That is the one point that every great leader has agreed on. They've disagreed in virtually every other idea, but that one, we become what we think about. Now, let's clearly understand nothing is created or destroyed. All science and all theology teach that. Nothing is created or destroyed. All the power there is.
What? Are you serious? Now, that is something out of this world. Sheesh. Nothing is greater than that. Now, what is the message that I want to get across through that? The main message I want to get across through that is how your relationships with others work. Now, of course, let's go ahead and get into it. Let's get into it finally, right? I'm going to go ahead and pull up the video I know y'all waiting for. Ish, whatever. So let's go ahead and do this right here. Because that's the main, like, that was like the main parts on it. I really wanted to make sure that I got across, right? So hold on one second, right? right? So let's go ahead and do this. I'm going to tell you guys right now. I mean, as always, you know, your man's is back on it. Mr. Gaze Easy himself definitely found another very, very odd, a very, very odd person. Like, I'm gonna be real with you. I just be like, is it this gotta be a spoof, man. It's gotta be a spoof. We're gonna look at this. What man, let's get into this video. I ain't even gonna hold us, right? I ain't even gonna hold us. But what we're gonna do, first of all, right? We're gonna take a quick commercial break because y'all already know that's something I have to make sure at least once or twice the show. I make sure I give off a good commercial break. And with that being said, this commercial break is brought to you by all 4 of 50 Cent's daughters.
After these messages.
Yes.
After these messages. We'll be right back.
I don't need no man trying to go 50-50. I don't need no man trying to go 50-50. I don't need no man trying to go 50-50.
Okay, so we got our commercial break in. Let's go ahead and get to the video. Y'all ready? This right here, boy. Let's go ahead and see, you know, exactly what took place, what happened when it came to the whole dynamic of Mr. Fugazi and this individual here. Let's get it.
Let's get ready to rumble.
Welcome
Nice
to
to know
No
I'm
Fugazi
back
Podcast.
home.
State your name and where you from.
New York in this building. Mr. Artist.
Mr. Artist.
from
Okay,
New
what
York.
do you want to debate about?
There
So-
not any other type of woman other than a holy woman. That's the only woman that exists on the face of this planet, bro.
Got it. So you mean to tell me there's no other type of woman than a holy woman? So are you saying that strippers are holy women?
I'm saying the only way to get a woman to corrupt herself enough is by the depravity of man.
Are you serious right now, bro?
Okay, so first of all, the depravity, because listen, I'm gonna say it. I already know. I had my moments. Look, right. I didn't have my nice little time where, like, you know, my hair wasn't the best. Like, I had to get myself together, right? The only reason why that was, for the record, is because in my area, I had a hard time finding somebody that, like, really, I wanted to find somebody who specialized in locks. I don't want to just go to anybody. So, and that was difficult. Then between schedules and price and all of that type of stuff, like, it's crazy because I had folks that was trying to charge me like $800, $500. I don't know what y'all think about, but anyway, first of all, the very first thing that I know that scares women off is this. Bruh, I don't know why you came up on here looking like that. I mean, listen, I've had my days. I remember, and I always try to do the best I can to fix myself, or just keep a hat. I mean, bro, just like get a beanie or something, bro. Just put a hat on or something. Like, get you a head wrap or something, do rag, anything. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, off rip, everything you talking about, like what?
By the decay of man. So that's the only way to get a woman to corrupt themselves. So it sounds like you are familiar with the book.
In a man's world,
how
that's
did
ran by men.
Eve corrupt herself? Did a man corrupt Eve?
What if there was no?
Reference to, so continue speaking. Why are you asking me to stop?
I'm asking you a question. It's
a rhetorical question.
That's not rhetorical. Let's see what. So you made a claim. You said, well, the only way a woman can destroy herself is by the decay of men. Men are the
the corruption factor. Yes.
The puppeteers that corrupt women. So
no.
My
No
question
one
is,
said puppeteers.
there's not any other way.
All right, so look, as crazy as Cuz look and everything else, I am listening. I do peep how he's trying to stop him from like, no, don't try to twist my words, because he did say what it is that he said. Men are part of the corruption. Now, again, it kind of kills me, listen, I got a real hard time when, like, us as men, I guess you can say, let's just say make it harder for us, period. That really happens. Like, it makes it so much harder for us. Like, we already behind the 8 ball. We already are, and then, when we get other men coming up saying like, yeah, we're such the problem and we contribute to the corruption. It's like, I can honestly say I do know many circumstances where that man was totally a destruction to that woman. Yes, absolutely. What I can also say is that there are many, many more circumstances where that man has absolutely brought that woman back to life. So what are we talking about on this, right? You see? So it's like, which message are we going to choose to pump into the ether? That is the main point of what I'm saying. Which message? So we know both exist. We know both take place. There are men who absolutely love our sisters, and it's any and everything that we do for them, like just right there on the spot. No problem. If you need it, cool. And then we also have nothing ass dudes that like don't even take time to think of their woman. Don't even take time to think of their kids. Don't take time to think of their loved ones or their friends and family. I peep that too. I even had to check myself at one point in time in my life, So I just want to make sure, like, only reason why I kind of dip into that a little bit every so often is to make sure that it's very known and clear that a lot of stuff that I talk about, I recognize that at times, not everything I speak about, but at times, I might have had a hand in something too. And there's sometimes I'm sitting up here, I'm listening to something, I'm like, you know what? Yeah, I remember those days when I was like that. Yeah, that does take place. That does take precedence. Let's go.
Corruption factor.
Okay, got it. So you're saying that men, the only way that a woman can be corrupted is if a man does it. So my question for you.
Trying to exploit a woman, a man will
Got it.
Now, no. You know what can corrupt a woman? Majority of any and all exterior forces. You know what can corrupt a woman? Nothing that has to do with a person. It could be drugs. That's right. A needle can corrupt a gorgeous butterfly and turn it into the locust from the hellfire, with the lion's face and the scorpion tail. Whole time that was a butterfly at one point until they got that needle in them. There are a lot of things that, what else can corrupt women? Social media. That can corrupt a woman. Yes. What it is that they look at, what it is that they choose to consume. You know what else can corrupt a woman? Food. Now, everything that I just named, the exact same things can corrupt the same man that woman is with and or is in her community. It goes for us too. I'm just saying, as far as responding to what they speak of. It's a lot of things that can corrupt a woman, So like to just nail it on just like, nah, that's what the problem is. It's like, no, let's say that's a contributing factor and leave it at that. And even then we have to measure that contributing factor. Let's keep rocking out.
You got it. So my question for you. So you don't think that women have agency and they can't corrupt themselves or they can't be corrupted by another woman?
One, that woman that is corrupting a woman had to be corrupted by a man first.
Okay.
You know, you got young girls that was corrupted by their mothers and grew up to be corrupted mothers themselves. You have women who was corrupted by their environment. It had nothing to do with it, man. Thank you. Jeez, Louise. Native, please bring I want to spark this, Jay. I take the wheel. Jeez, Louise.
Okay, so hello everyone. In true fashion, I want to be the lawyer, the on-call lawyer here.
I just want to say, man, much respect to you. First and foremost, how has your day been? I know your day's been good to you.
You know what? It has been good to me. However, you would be surprised some of the, excuse my français, fuck shit is going on in the District of Columbia. But that's my job, so it is what it is.
I mean, that's the nation. Should I say that's the nation? You already know what comes with it. I gotta go back and forth to daggone BMO. I'm around there, University, Maryland, Baltimore campus hospital. Yeah, the bullshit that I see and go through. You see how we just kind of trade off on problems and we wake up and leave that.
That's because that's because I'm in Howard and you in Prince George.
You already know. So it's like, it's crazy, man. It's crazy. So but go ahead. I want you to tap in on this. Hey, I know you've been listening.
Okay, so what I want to say is this. What he's trying to say, okay, never mind what he did say, okay? What he's
Never mind the hair. Go ahead.
Yeah, never mind the hair. Or the camera angle, or what he's saying. I am his representative, okay? What he's trying to say is this. For every, let's say, problem you see in a person, right? It has an origin. Even like, for instance, the social media influence, right? The drug influence, the food influence, right? That has its root someplace. All three of those influences, right? If it is to influence someone to something that is against their very nature, their very, embetterment, right? It has its root someplace. And what he's saying is everything is rooted in a person's beginnings, meaning their childhood. And so when he says, for every corrupt woman, there was a man that was corrupt in her life. He's not talking about lovers. That's not it. He's talking about fathers. That's what he's talking about. Or let's say the lack thereof. Because at the end of the day, a woman eats for several reasons. If a woman has a sugar addiction, you see what I'm saying? That means typically she's missing love in her life, right? If she has a salt addiction, you see what I'm saying? There's certain emotional issues that she has going on, right? Like you can almost pinpoint what her issue is based on what her craving is. And if she's obese, right? You see what I'm saying? That means she's trying to eat to cover up something. If she has a liquor issue, she's trying to drown out something that is rooted further back in her life. That's what she's trying to do. Now, this isn't to say every man is bad. That's not what that is. But as women, we're wired to look for our fathers in other men. Whether we looking to avoid our dad or looking to go to our dad, we're looking for our fathers in every man we look at. So if you had a good dad, you looking for a man like your father. If you had a fucked up dad, you looking for any man like your dad so you can avoid it. So you're looking for your dad either way. So when he says for every fucked up individual female we got is rooted in a man not playing his position in her life, he means that from a very rudimentary root, as they say in our community, place. And I do agree with him largely. And the only reason why I don't say completely, and let me say it, the reason why I don't say completely is because
Are you serious right now, bro?
wait, let me get it out. There is an aspect of parenting, whether you're male or female, that you can be in your child's life and do everything right. And your child will just be that child that just kind of got away and did their own thing, regardless of everything you did and put into them. There is that aspect of children, but it's not by half. You see what I'm saying? I give it 20 to 15% of kids that are just like that it don't matter what you did as a parent, good, bad, or indifferent. They were going to do what they were going to do for whatever reason, and that has nothing to do with you as a parent. So that's why I can't say, well, he's 100% correct. I would say in large part, yes. That's what that is. Now go ahead and tell me how I'm crazy.
So, because I'm just going to flash back briefly, and I'm going to tell you exactly not how you're crazy, fam. Okay, we don't talk to the sisters that way over here, but just where I have my disagreements respectfully. Let's go to it. Let's go. Hold on. I add to stage. Let's get it.
Actor.
Okay, got it. So you're saying that men, the only way that a woman can be corrupted is if a man does it. So my question for you,
trying to exploit a woman, a man will
got it.
Our communities exploit our women. The music industry exploits our women. Drugs exploit our women. You understand? You see? Listen, bad upbringing can exploit our women. And if we say majority of the time dad's not there, who did they grow up with possibly that could have exploited them? Not putting nothing on the moms out there of the world, even the let's say precious Monique moms of the world. Even then, they only doing what they know because they don't know no damn better. See, I'm one of those that see all of that. I don't just look and judge like, oh yeah, you effed up. I always say to myself, it's an undertow. You grew up that way. Once upon a time, you were a gorgeous, precious baby that knew nothing about this world, and something corrupted you. But my whole point is to just make it and put it on. When you say I largely agree, that's where I'm like, honestly, that's why I was like, Native, you too smart for that, Miss Black Files.
Are you serious right now, bro?
Okay, so we're gonna have one of the moments. We're gonna have one of the moments, and it's okay. You know it's all love.
We're gonna have a moment.
Yeah, let me finish. So my point is, I know for a fact that I've seen so many different circumstances. See, it's not just the abusive father, the absent father, or the pimp of the neighbor, or I'm sorry, the gimp. I'm sorry. Remember we used to do gimp? Wasn't that so cool? Sorry, yeah. So yeah, it wasn't the gimp of the neighborhood, the absent father, or the abusive father that was the sole factors of that. We know that there are so many different intricate elements, all the way down to just not having somewhere for these children to grow up and be safe and create. Like having those rec centers that don't nothing go down, and those libraries that are up to code. All of that. The parks that, like, it ain't a bunch of like empty condoms, blunt guts, and broken beer bottles and stuff, and blood stains. Like real, like, what I'm talking about, coming from where you come from, and even you being where it, you know what it is over here. So I know for a fact there's so many different factors outside of just it was some nothing ass bum ass nigga that's the factor as to why women could wound up effed up. There are so many more factors. I rest the floor. I digress. My mic is muted. Rock out. You got all the time in the world. No timer.
Okay, so while I agree with you in, let's say, a topical sense, right? again, what the brother is kind of alluding to is a root, the root of what you're talking about. For instance, you referenced Monique. If we go back into Monique's explanation of her childhood, what you're going to hear is a linchpin moment where she talks about her father. And then you're going to start connecting the dots to why her parenting is the way it was with her children, and why she kind of had this attitude like, well, you know, I mean, it is what it is. And it's like, that's kind of how she grew up from her dad, not her mom, but her dad. You understand? And then you say, well, okay, could there be a circumstance where a woman didn't have a father and turned out to be good? Sure. That is what's called an outlier of a circumstance. But let's be clear. The environment that individual female grows up in is still protected largely by men. That female that grows up without a man, somehow, if she turned out right, grew up with some sense of protection from men that was in a correct order, meaning a community that was protected by the men. You see what I'm saying? Media that was guarded or protected by some male figure or masculine figure. You understand? So let's be clear about it. Even if we are talking about, let's say, things that pertain to the community, right? Like to say, well, you know, like pimps in the community. Pimps don't pimp women that got men around them. Pimps pimp women that are devoid of father figures, brothers, any protective figure. That's just the way men are wired. Men don't sniff around other men like that, because that's a physical threat right there. They sniff around women that are, you know, left to their own devices alone. So it's like, you know, this situation is not to say you're wrong, but it is to say, even in what you're saying, we can trace it back to a lack of male oversight, even in the community sense. The community is not supposed to be ran and operated and funded by female. That's not the natural order. Now, women can play their part in all three of those, but to run it completely, that's not the natural order. So when we look at the community, the lack thereof of, let's say, father and mother figure, right? The lack thereof of a father figure in a community gives rise to, let's say, its vulnerability to any and everything. So again, the community, you know what I mean, is doing what it want to do, but it wanting to do anything, even to its own detriment, is because it's operating out of order. Why is it out of order? Because the programming in the very beginning was lacking something, either the actual program or the programmer, whichever one you want to go with. I'm okay with that. So it's not to say, well, men are bad. That's not to say that, but it is to say that masculine influence, if it is not properly implanted at the correct time, sometimes can be the reason why shit is fucked up. Like, if you come into your child's life when they're 40 to be a good dad, do you think you're going to have the same effect of when you come into their life at 4 months?
Absolutely not. There will be a big difference.
There's going to be a big difference. Yes, there's going to be a big difference. So when we have a whole generation starting from the early 70s all the way down to the late 90s, coming up under the crack and heroin era, coming up right after the guys was coming home from the war with all that addiction, and we think somehow these were our fathers. We think somehow we're not going to see the manifestations of that in the community. Yes, we are. Back then, we had, when men were, let's say, before they came home from the war, all messed up. And before the crack era, the black community had a lot of men in the homes actually doing stuff that was productive. So you didn't have a whole lot of television shows mocking black women, specifically mocking black men. You had a few, obviously, because that was white supremacy for you. But generally speaking, we had our own shit going on. We had whole cities across this country when that was the case. But as you see, that started dwindling from different means. So when black men, let's say by whatever means, stop controlling their community, their media, their news, like when we used to have the black newspaper in Baltimore, everybody used to have a copy. When that stopped, this is when everything started infiltrating. So we can trace, like the brother said, every trace everything back to the lack of leadership. And I mean, in this sense, we're talking about men, right? But really, I don't like always speaking in terms of men or male. I like to speak in terms of masculine and feminine, because however you situate that, that is the absolute truth. And so I don't, and that's what I'm saying. The conversation between this guy and Cooley is about males, like with a penis. You see what I'm saying? It's not necessarily about the concept of the masculine energy through the male.
Lola. So okay, so how is it because what he's saying is the reason why they are corrupted is because of us primarily. I heard everything you just said. Okay, so how is it primarily us again in a nutshell?
No, he's not saying that anything is primarily anything. What he's saying is, if you see a broken woman, you cannot see a broken woman that was raised in a loving household with a father that adores her. You will never find that. No. And the reason why is because females, when they have a correct relationship with their father, they're less likely to disappoint their father. They're less likely to sit and want to be in circumstances where they are not protected by their dad. You see what I'm saying? Like that's, don't get me wrong, any and everything is possible, but probably that's not a probability under the circumstances. Intact families don't usually equal utter poverty. Usually, that's not what that means. Two incomes and people working together usually don't equal nothingness. Usually. So he's not saying that everything's a man's fault, but let's be clear about something. The male or masculine influence within a female's life, right, is very critical, to the point we can pinpoint it down to a medical science. Like you said about the eating. I can show you what, based on what you eat, what's missing in your childhood. I can show you.
Talk to you about them Ritz crackers too. Oh man, you.
No, I found out about that. I found out about that.
Man, that shit's scary, yo. Why you do that to me? Nah, for
what?
real.
You looked it up. You looked it up.
My head, yeah, man. You just messed my head up because now you said that. You just made me think about that shit. Nah, because I listen. When I hear from people, I respect the minds of what they have to say, and I respect the value of your word. I go up and I look up what you say.
So you can't eat that shit no more.
Man, you was dead ass on point. That shit went smooth out to the birds, and I prayed that they didn't die.
I couldn't even give it to the birds. I had to throw that shit straight.
To the squirrels and the birds, like 4 whole sleeves. Lightly salted. Let's go ahead. Yeah. All right, so listen, I want to listen to what he got to say. Yeah, y'all make sure y'all look up the Yuka app. Definitely, I have the video with our sister Oshun right here. Definitely, the love experience explaining to us, aka, you know what I'm saying, the series. She broke it down, man, with that food. I'm a chef. I've been a chef over 20 years, and she taught me things that I didn't even know. So that's what I'm talking about when I say that we are all we got. I had no clue about that information until she popped up randomly one day and gave it to me. And that's how God works. Let's get back to this now. Listen, I gave your props because I'm about to go ahead and burn shit up right now, because I heard you just say that he's not really, that is men. I want to hear this again, Lola. Now let's get on back to this, what we talking about.
I'm saying the only way to get a woman to corrupt herself enough is by the depravity of man.
Let's keep on listening.
By the decay of man. So that's the only way to get a woman to corrupt themselves. So it sounds like you are familiar.
That is the only way. Now let's get back to the video. And you let me know when to pause it, fam. But I'm going by what the man said. Me, I am one of those men. I told
you don't listen to me.
And you know I'm gonna be right there with you. You know I'm gonna be right there with you on this one. The man said out his mouth. I'm like, bruh, that's the only reason why I went into the whole, like, bruh, we got drugs, community, the food, bad health. Watch this, people. And I made this example before. All right, Lola, maybe you can back me up on this one somewhat, although maybe even your ass has a one-off story. Like, nah, I seen it in there. Nah, real talk though. If you notice, do you all ever notice like when we have like those like fights break out in like a food spot, right? Or somewhere where they sell stuff, right?
Mhm.
All right. Now, let's go ahead and go down a line of where all of these places normally are. Follow me. Walmart, Popeyes, McDonald's, any drive-throughs, all of that, right? My point is, I want you to pay attention to that. Now, how often when we see these like big fights breaking out, do you ever see that? And I'm just saying, I'm not saying it's never happened, but typically, do you see majority of this happening and it was in like a Mom's Organic Market? Huh?
No.
Typically, right.
Typically not.
Now, I want us to pay attention to the connection I'm making. It's because what the people who shop there, what they consume, what they eat, how they live, their minds don't function that way. It's a clear indication reason why where the most poison is sold, the most violence and outbreaks and outbursts occur. Talk to me, Lola. What you got on that before I push play?
I'll say to a large degree, I'm gonna agree just based on the science of food and outcomes, right? However, if you just
and here it is, I'm not a scientist.
So if you look at it from a standpoint of in poorer neighborhoods, right, you're not gonna see a Mom's Organic. One, because it's not profitable because the prices are so high. But follow me. In poorer neighborhoods, you have a higher influx of single parent homes, right? In more affluent neighborhoods, you have a lower percentage of that. So while the food is, let's say, better, at the same time, it's better because more people can afford it. You see what I'm saying? So that kind of goes with money, not necessarily like the degree of the people and how they act per se. No, it's about where the money is. Because in certain affluent neighborhoods in Prince George's County, you notice there are certain stores there in those affluent Black communities, not because, well, they care about it being black or white, but because the dollar is green. So what I'm saying is, yes, there is something to be said about people that, let's say, on a daily basis, they intake certain toxicities that will, one, disrupt their endocrine system. That's a big one. Two, disrupt neuron systems. And then three, disrupt immune systems that make it weird so you can't fight off disease. You see what I'm saying? And you're more susceptible to aging, to, let's say, agile behavior, things like that. This is coming through the food. So on top of the disparaging financial circumstance, the food now is undercutting that. So it's like a circle of a circumstance. And I mean, I will say this. Where I live at, around the corner, there's a Mom's Organic. Within, let's say, 2 miles of where I live at, right? There is 5 organic stores. And then you got the regular store.
We also got Yes Organic.
Yeah, that too. Now I don't got that one around here, but yeah. I got 5 organic stores within a small distance from me, and then I got like 1 or 2 regular markets, and one of those is Wegmans. Okay, so I eat different. I eat very different than, let's say, somebody in West Baltimore eats. You feel me? Just because of location. So, but see, here's the thing. I'm a single woman right now, living by myself with my children. Right. You feel me? But that what it is I was raised with my father and in a 2-parent home. So the way I was raised, even though circumstances happen, my core character as a woman has been influenced by a male figure. Even if circumstances have drastically changed in the negative. But see, if most of our single parents in this country, as far as especially Black women, were raised with fathers, and let's say for whatever reason they're not with the guy that they had children with, our community would be sustainable because we don't need to be having sex with one another to respect one another and respect the fact that if you love your parents, your children love their parents too. You shouldn't want to take them away from their other parents, just like you don't want nobody taking you away from your parents. Same difference. You feel me? Like, ain't nobody, my mother literally is crazy. And my father, he is something else. But ain't nobody about to tell me to my face that. And like, think I'm about to sit through it. So why would I sit and talk about my children's fathers in their face when I know ain't nobody about to do that to me? Why would I do that? But see, that comes from being raised with a certain level of structure through the masculine that the women need. And if you don't, and like to Cooley's point, if a woman doesn't have access to that structure in her most critical years, she by definition is corrupted.
Right.
By definition, you corrupt. Like seriously, like there is no, well, you got a chance when you become an adult. You by definition are corrupted, and you have to live life from that position. So I can respect a female saying, listen, I didn't grow up with a father. I don't know how to really respect men, but if you work with me, I'll work with you. That's the best she can give. I can respect that because at least somebody know what they walking into. They know what hills not to step on. I get that. But see, that's where we at right now. And so at least we can be honest about that and say, listen, part of the reason why a chick is fucked up is not because of the dude that's in front of her. It's because of the dude that he can't see. The dude that came before her. That's why. And let's be honest. Our dads, me and your generation, they did some fucked up shit. They was on some fucked up shit. They was. A lot of them was drug addicted. A lot of them was Rolling Stones, i.e. Debbie Dad. A lot of them were. But that's because something happened between the 50s and the 70s that offset that shit. And then we figured it out in the 80s and 90s. And now our children is seeing what became of us because of that. So that's almost 100-year difference that you're going to see just how physics roll. Almost 100 years, 3 generations. So I'm okay with what he's saying. Listen, the men are the leaders. If they are not in place, by definition, there is chaos. I'm okay with that. That doesn't mean that, for instance, you are a bad guy. My father is a piece of shit. That's not what that means. But it is to say, hey, let's say a word straight. If we don't have what we need in place when we need it, then we fucked up. Now let's talk about how do we move from this fucked up position to a better position. The first thing we need to do is understand that we are fucked up. Like, we need to understand that. Even if we don't know what else to do, we need to understand, hey, shit is fucked up. Like, if I was obese, what's wrong with me saying, you know what? I am obese. I'm obese because I don't feel love. Let's start there. Let's acknowledge you obese, and you're obese because you didn't have your dad, and you don't feel love, and you need that, and you ain't found that. Let's start there. People can work with the truth. That's what we can do. But you got it.
You just got another damn clip. Ah, boy. Ah, shit. So this is what I want to do, right? We're gonna take a quick commercial break. I do like, I love gems dropped, and I especially love it when it comes from different avenues of thought processes that aren't like, that's just not mine. Especially when it is, here it is. I at times be thinking, I got this whole little thing I just looked at, figured out. And then here comes somebody like maybe you, Brother Truth, whoever, salute to Brother Bolo, whoever comes up. All of you guys bring so many different dynamics that are so important to these type of discussions, because, you know, I can hold it down, but I can't do it all myself. You smell me now? And damn, that shit's appreciated. I want to know what you think it is. I want your thoughts. So when this is done, just go ahead and respond, and I'll go ahead, of course, ladies first, and I'll go ahead and respond after you, sis. Let's go ahead and rock out. I digress. My mic is muted. Respect to you, family. Let's do it.
These messages, we'll be right back.
Today, so I woke up and chose violence. So I posted this video a while back.
We
first are on stolen land. Let's just acknowledge that.
100%.
Right? And then we have stolen people who helped build the backbone of this nation.
So we're on stolen land. Now she's speaking to someone who's not us, for the record, saying that we are on stolen land, basically saying, I guess she's acknowledging that this was us. And we are riding on the backbones of those who we stole it from. Your take on that briefly before we get right back to the video.
I will agree with that. And it's something that we don't really talk about to a large degree because it wasn't our fault, right? We didn't do that. However, we got caught up in that. And let's be clear, we didn't steal this land, right? As Malcolm X said, Plymouth Rock landed on us, not the other way around.
Right.
So when you got wars happening on this continent between people, and then they add us in somehow, you see what I'm saying? And then mix us down in another sense, and then we become the whole conversation when we didn't begin in this conversation. You see what I'm saying? Like the new world had nothing to do with us. Then now suddenly it got everything to do with us. I understand why she's saying that. Like it was stolen land. And so what we doing right now is telling the people who stole it, hey, you owe, because we wasn't here to do this, and y'all did this atrocious act to not only us but other people. And this is like an after the fact sort of thing. But let's be clear, like we're talking to the thieves and we're asking the thieves to do right.
I see. Oh, okay. Shit. Yeah. Damn. Okay. Hey, that's a beautiful take on that. My take on that personally, before we get back to the video real quick, is let me go right here. Yes, basically thriving off the backs of those who land is stolen from. I'm gonna be honest with you, just me personally. Now, thank you for your take. My take is they're talking about the Black Native Americans that are never spoken about. My grandfather, my mother's side, I think it's like Pamunkey. My dad's side, it's like Monacan, and all of this is both. I didn't even know like West Virginia, like deep West Virginia, where the mountains at. So like, and you already know, Native, like we don't like to cross that Woodrow. We don't go across that Woodrow. But apparently that's where the ancestors are. Apparently the ancestors are across the bridge that I do not want to cross because I'm not messing with them peoples.
Mm-hmm. I was trying to explain to my dude the other day. I was like, look, it's a place up here we just don't go. And when they come to down there in that section, listen, don't be speeding, don't be having nothing wrong with your car, be legit, okay? Like don't play games. That's some real stuff. However, you're right, it is down there, but here's the thing though, right? The whole history behind Black natives, yes, it got swept under the rug real hard. But it really got swept under the rug because you got a non-native group of people looking at two different groups of natives. And I say that very literally, two different, very distinct groups of natives. And then they're trying to differentiate them where they can visually, but class-wise, no, they can't. And then they add in the whole slave component thing. And now they classified everybody under the same classification. So now you got three groups that are being classified as one group. And the reason why I say three is because you have the Native African, you have the Native, what we call Black, which is an unidentified group here. And then you have like the more Indo-Native groups, right? That came over through the Bering Strait from Asia. So they believe. These are three separate, distinct groups. So, I mean, I can see why it got swept under the rug. Because I'm gonna be honest with you, if I went to the Orient right now and I'm trying to conquer and I see a Japanese, a Korean, and a North Asian, a North Chinese person, I'm gonna be honest, no shade. They just gonna be all Orient. They not gonna be specific because they different. But I can't tell.
Is it all right? So are they like Umbak? I know you know Umbak. So that's
No,
like
no. I'm not gonna say that. I'm just gonna say that it's very natural for someone who is not from that part of the world to not be able to differentiate separate groups, genetic separate groups. And in this case, like if you read some of the memoirs from Christopher Columbus, he said that there was distinct groups that look African, but obviously they weren't African, because we know that there was a group of let's say Africanoid people here prior to the Indo-European, not Indo, but the Indo-Americans, let's say that that they even talk about. So when you see, like, for instance, the teepees and the feathers and these like artifacts, right, you automatically go to the slanted eye, quote unquote, Native American. But truth be told, that culture was passed on to them from an older culture that even their records say they come from, or let's say they came in contact with. And that culture, the only one that we see is the unidentified culture, which is the Negroid culture that they say look like the Negroids in Africa, but genetically they are distinct. So it's like they're not from Africa, but they look similar in terms of, let's say, their facial structures, right? But the facial structures isn't all that uncommon. Like you find, for instance, big noses in the Orient. It's on the non-black Orientals at that.
Hey Lola. Hey Lola. I'm smiling because it's like I be thinking I'm the only one that finds information like this.
That's true, but the thing is, you would only know that if you travel or a little bit, or something. But see, a lot of people don't, and that's what I'm saying. Some people just don't have the means to travel, so they don't know, and they're kind of relegated to their news through certain outlets, and that's normal. You see what I'm saying? Everybody's not meant to be a history teacher and all of that and a scholar. But for those of us that do know, we have a responsibility or ability to respond to that need in our community. And so that's why I like it. What I learned, I share. I don't hold back information. I don't ask people to pay me to learn what was free to me. I don't. So I will say that, but yeah, I agree with that in general.
Nah, so I'm just saying that to kind of back up what you were saying, but nah, I want you to, yeah, I'm glad you hit. I want to, while I got you up here, let's get back to this daggone video and let's listen to what this dude talking about, because apparently, all right, he's a male feminist who was saying that men are basically the downfall of women. Okay, so his whole argument is the reason why women are in such a rut is because of us. Let's go. Let me know when you want me to pause it. I got you, Native. I digress. My mic is muted. Hold on. Wow. Let's go ahead, rock out. I make sure we stay on stage.
One-on-one conversation. There's no other people in the room to protect her from the decisions she makes. Between that,
sometimes the protection, believe it or not, and I'm saying, listen, ladies, sometimes, listen, none of us never know when we're in a circumstance where just something pops off. But a lot of times, before that man should be your protection, your discernment, your logic. Yes, ladies, you have that too. Your logic, your discernment, and your decisions, right? Discernment as in to decide, to decipher. That should be your first line of defense. If that fails and falls through, definitely we should be absolutely right there as if we were the first plan in the first place. Let's go.
Oh wait, okay, hold on. Stop it. Stop it.
Oh shoot.
Stop
Let's
it.
get it.
Okay.
Let's get it.
I got it going. I gotta get it going in a couple minutes. But let me say this about that. So what he's talking about is saving a woman. He's saying the word woman, right? From just her own decision. But what he's really talking about is children. Again, as a man, you teach your daughter through indirect and direct and indirect, let's say, lessons of how to consort herself as a female, right? When it comes to interacting with other men. As a man, you teach your daughter not to sit on other men's laps as a child. As a man, you teach your daughter that, listen, the strength of a man is not the same as the strength of a woman and what to do, right? That's something that is instilled over time as a child, the original wiring, right? What happens is when you remove that as a child, right? The woman grows up as a female not understanding that, right? Like literally she's not understanding that. Same thing that can happen with a boy. But she'll grow up and feel like she has to protect herself because that's what's naturally coming to her mind. And she's not really quite cognizant of the things someone who has been raised through years worth of indoctrination of the correct things, she'll go out there and want to protect herself first rather than looking to a man to protect her. And then now we're here at this circumstance where we're saying, well, this woman is corrupted. She didn't have this. She didn't have this. When we're talking about, we're using the word woman, but really what he's trying to say is this child wasn't properly taken care of. And thus she grew up in an environment where she was by default had to be masculine because there is no masculine presence there. And women naturally have an ability to turn masculinity on and off versus men. It's different. You see what I'm saying? Because we protect children as well. Men protect whole community. We protect children and ourselves. So that's like a dual circumstance there. So that's by nature that happens, right? As a default mechanism. However, again, when you look at people and just see it as the adult made a decision and thus she shouldn't have made that decision. Every decision I have ever made is because of what was put into me as a child. My decision to go to college, my decision not to go to nursing school, my decision to get into politics, my decision to learn different languages, my decision to dress a certain way, my decision to live in a certain time, all had everything to do with how I was raised. So it's like, and like when it comes to men, same thing. Like it's because of how I was raised. So, I hate the fact that we can't really differentiate what we're talking about here. And we're kind of like using the wrong words in our explanations to explain something so simple, which is the man is really trying to say, listen, we have a responsibility to protect our daughter. If we do not protect our daughters, the next generation of men will deal with our problem. That's what he is saying. And that's what we are dealing with right now. Period. That's what we're dealing with. And it's like, what's wrong with accepting that? To say, hey, this woman didn't have a father, thus she's going to have problems doing this, that, and the third. That ain't the man's fault that's trying to date her. It's really not his fault. But it is his problem now. Because he has to deal with this generation unless he's going to go sleep with grandma or somebody. I don't know. But let's just be clear about what we're talking about. We're not talking about grown women making decisions. That's not what we're talking about. We're talking about scarred individuals that's been scarred for a really long time. And now that they're operating in the regular world, now we get to see how deep them scars really go. And it's like, I think as a community right now, we need to practice one, let's say, intelligence, right? Which is when we say women, let's be clear, are we talking about adults or are we talking about children? And two, when we reference the problems in our community, let's be clear about where they start and where they end up. Because this is not to put in more blame on men than women, because women do make decisions, right? But let's be clear, you ain't making no decision based on nothingness. Your decision to dress and look and act like a hoe is based on everything that was in your childhood. Every single thing that was in your childhood. There's an 85% chance that if you were touched or molested as a child, you will grow up with a distorted sexuality. 85% chance. That's a really huge chance. If there's a 15% chance you're gonna catch cancer from eating something, most people ain't gonna eat it, let alone 85. So, you know, let's kind of like call it, you know, as they say a word straight. I think Cooley, he's on and most people, they don't want to be blamed for something they didn't have direct influence in, right? They don't want to be blamed for that. But you do not represent your father, right? But you are a part of the community that your father has affected, period. No, you're not the reason why he did what he did, but his actions are falling onto your lap. That is what is happening. I've seen people go through that through generations of problems, like going from one generation to the next, to the next, to the next, to the next. And it's sad, but it don't have to be, but so sad if we just acknowledge it and move forward based on where we're at, not where we want to be at. I'm not about to sit here and say women are just fucked up and they just hate men, when I know that hate, if that truly is hate, is truly love inverted because it's been corrupted through some level of abuse.
But isn't love inverted love that has been manipulated, love that has been perverse?
No. Love is not a thing that can be perverse. Hate, you can't hate something without acknowledging that you love it. Let's be clear about that. Yeah. For instance, the guy down the street, right?
I love it. Okay, keep dropping them gems.
The guy down the street, he can act a fucking fool all he want, right? But I can't hate him because I don't know him. I don't have no connection to him. But if my dude, the one that I love, start doing some old fuck shit to me, I can hate him because I love him and he betrayed me. That's what that is. There is no hate without love on the other end, period. So let's stop that. Indifference is worse than hate, because hate will have you return what was done to you and still feel like you need to save a motherfucker at the end of the day. Like you'll push them off the cliff and then grab their hand and pull them up and let them know that you ain't playing. But indifference will let them fall off that cliff and not feel anything and walk away. That's what that is. So, nah, he's not that. No, there is no corruption of love. I would disagree with that. Now, I'm not saying that, you know, anybody else is wrong in their assessment, but I wouldn't agree with that.
All right. Let's hurry up and get back to the video for the minutes that you got left. Let's go. Let's hear what he got to say. Okay. I love this perspective. Let's keep listening. Apparently, he says male feminist thinks men are the downfall of women.
Control factor and his fear of influence.
Got it. So I think I see what you're saying, because your question, when you say lucrative, I'm like, lucrative in what way? Okay, I see what you're saying. So you're saying that, well, if a man is with a woman, you gave the example of he's in a room with her, you're pretty much saying that a man can manipulate a woman to pretty much do whatever.
I'm sorry. I have to, Lola. I have to, Lola. First of all, that is you all's number one art in this entire world of getting by. Look, listen, if you's a sister and you've been out there, you had your couple of, I know you've had times where you was able to so softly and delicately talk your ass up out of a situation. Okay. The fact is that it's just something about getting a man to do your bidding. That is, listen, we all know the woman's actual superpower. So let's just say men's superpower. Come on now, like, cause sis, I've been around. I've seen circumstances in my face. I'm not saying this is some dude off the internet. I'm saying this is somebody who came from the real life streets. Now I'm bringing stories here. Yo, the fact is, we all know that a woman's superpower is her tongue. We have muscle. Okay, so let's say we're Superman in the sense of I can lift this, I can pull that, and all of this other stuff. I can build this. Yo, it's something about when we want to give up on that house that I'm trying to build for us, that it's just something about your simple words and a simple just pat and rub on my back and just like a hot cup or a soup or something, and you just bring to me that just absolutely gets me up out of everything that I just was about to give up on. And I say, you know what? I got a house to build. You all have the absolute best motive of persuasion. We can't touch you on that. We can't. I'm sorry. We not touching y'all when it comes to the art of persuasion. You can take the smoothest, most debonair, Rico Suave way. I can't believe it's not Butter Guy. And I shit you not, she will melt his ass just like some butter if y'all put them two in the competition. And you don't even have to take the most flies of a chick. You can just take a sister that just know enough. Stop playing with me. Let's go.
Okay. Wait. Okay,
That's
so
pretty
let me
much what
say.
you're saying.
I got you.
Let me say this to that. Okay,
real shit, though.
You are correct. I will wholeheartedly agree with you, but I think there's a caveat on that, because let's say this: the feminine, right, is about what we call soft power. That's what feminine is, soft power. Soft power is not to be confused with weakness or something that isn't impactful. Soft power is what we call like, you know, the four forces in the universe. You see what I'm saying? Like, this is soft power.
Bubbles, blossoms, and buttercup. Go ahead. Yep.
It's like, for instance, gravity, right? You don't feel like you being overpowered, but it's the most powerful thing right now acting on you. And it's like, you can't even feel like you don't got control, but you are not in control of anything. Yet it's acting on you like that. That's what we call feminine power. Now, someone holding you down is what we call masculine, quote unquote, brute power. Feminine power is not about force. It's about, let's say, covert allowance. Meaning, like people say, one of the biggest ways women manipulate is, and this is only for women who've been around long enough to know how. If you grew up with a father in your life, you know how to manipulate men. Now, if you didn't grow up with a father in your life, you learn how to manipulate men through sex. But when you cultivated to know men and how they are, you learn, your first man you learn how to manipulate is your father. Period. I learned how to manipulate my father. My mother, of course, she learned in a different way because of her circumstance, but that's how that is. What it is allowing a man to think it's all his idea. That way you get whatever you want, and you don't even have to, like, in a sense, force it or complain or go through all that masculine energy just to get somebody to do something simple, right? You make it where as though they think they're doing it and it's all they're doing, when in fact that was all you. But see, that's the thing. Feminine power don't need to be recognized as powerful. It just is. That's the difference. Masculine power needs to be recognized because it's a brute force. I mean, you gonna recognize it. There is no other way. So this is what this is, and this is why I say what he said in the beginning goes back to what he was really trying to say, which is that lack of masculinity in a woman's childhood gives way to, for instance, she's allowing a man to manipulate her based on brute male understanding versus feminine understanding, which is her superpower, but she's fallen to somebody else's natural state while she got a superpower. That's because she's missing something in the beginning. She's missing something. Like, little girls, I'm telling you, as children, you learn to manipulate men when you were 2, 3, and 4, and 5 years old. That way, when you get 7 years old, you got, little boys that want to, instead of, lurking around in dirt, they want to find roses to give to you, and they don't even know why.
Lola.
So it's like,
Lola, I want us to pay attention to something, right? So I'm about to pull up 2 pictures. So what I did was I converted AI. You know how they say the eyes are the window to the soul?
Mm-hmm.
I want you to look at the eyes. All right, so one of these pictures, the AI, the first one, the AI that I convert, this is my daughter. I converted to AI. I want you to pay attention to the eyes, and I want you to tell me the story that's being told. So when you say know how to manipulate the dads first, now So one is of a current picture, and one is when she was like 3. So I'm gonna drop us. Here we go. Let's look. Look at the eye. Picture number 2. Does that not say I can get any damn thing I want from dad? I know when to go to him. I know. Does it not?
It does. And it looks like it also says, because I can get anything from him, you also gonna give me what I want. That's what it says.
Man, it's so I'm just saying, even from that, because I can't front. See, I'm that detailed, and I want you to finish what you're saying. We can get back to it, you know what I'm saying, for the time duration we got. But I peeped that, like when you was saying that, I was saying to myself, yo, when I did this AI thing, I peeped at how like her eyes, like that's when she was like 3. And I noticed it's a little bit more of a teddy bear glow.
Mm-hmm.
I went to the 16-year-old her today. I don't know who that person is.
No, no. See, it ain't because she a different
like that,
person.
you know what I'm saying? But like,
Yeah. It ain't because she a different person. It's because this is what we call daddy's girl syndrome. Because a lot of times people be complaining about the women that don't have no dad. When you meet the chick that got a father and she done learned how to manipulate him and get him around every finger and toe, what you not gonna do is come into her life and not give her what her father gave her, in no sense of the word, because she feels entitled. Because he gave it to her for no reason other than the fact that she exists. Period. So, I mean, in a sense, like, I've seen men complain about that too. Like, low key, they complain about, say, this girl, she want to keep comparing me to her father, and she wanted this and she wanted that, and da 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 da. And it's like, yo, do you want a woman that don't know what a man look like, or do you want a woman that do know what a man look like? There's pluses and minuses to everything, but you're gonna have to pick a stronger, bro. But see, this is what I'm saying. Like, and I'll be honest with you, to a large degree, I'm a daddy's girl, right? But because I grew up in Baltimore, I have a bit more of a heightened sense of more of reality than your average typical daddy's girl. Like I do, because you listen, growing up in Baltimore, you can't be prissy up there, just you can't. But I am.
I was Central Booking. I had to get shipped out to Central Booking. Listen, I didn't even have to be in y'all streets. Anyway, listen, it's hell on wheels. Salute to you, and how you're able to remain some form of femininity coming from that place. I don't know how you do it, Lola. I'm dead ass.
Hey, I would say this, right? Dude would say, dude would say that my femininity is an acquired taste, because I'm not your typical soft girl life sort of girl. Yeah, no, I'm different.
Little bit, just a smidget, not much. Nah, you are who you are behind the scenes. You, and one thing I will give you big props on, you and a couple sisters out here in these spaces, yo. Like, shit, even salute to Sister LA. Like, no bullshit. Like, I don't never see y'all like in messy shit. Like, for the most part, and even times where I've seen you speaking on behalf of something, that's literally what it was. Like, you know, you spoke up on behalf of either defending your own, which you're supposed to do. That's what we do. People, we in there too. But even deeper, like, you know what I'm saying? Just the fact of just like, you just responded, and that's what I respect about folks. If you ever have, for the most part, I've only seen Lola respond. I've never seen Lola just jump out of anywhere for whatever reason. Like, I need to start some clout, bitches. Like, I've never seen that, and that's all. You know what I'm saying? Like, I love that shit, and I respect it. Thank you so much for being a good representation of our people, and I wanted to say that to your light-skinned ass on Black History Month. That's right. That's right, Red.
we keeping Black History Month alive, okay? That's what we do.
So let's get back to the video. I digress. My mic is muted. I appreciate y'all.
I guess.
No. You see,
that's
I
not what
did,
you're saying. Okay,
I
fair enough.
said
Go
in a
state it
man's
again then
world,
in another way.
the only thing that exists outside of men are holy women, and the only thing that can corrupt women are.
I'm sorry. I gotta ask this question. What is it about y'all? Because my very daughter, and I already know, what is it about women in the particular martial art of Hapkido? That's right. Yeah. My daughter, I don't know. Yellow. What is it about Hapkido? I already know. LA, I already know. Is it Hapkido?
Well, I'll say with Hapkido, Hapkido is about the art of taking something strong and making it weak. It's not about brute force. Honestly, it's really not. In Hapkido, you have a lot of wrist locks and a lot of let's say maneuvers where someone's coming at you and you're receiving whatever they're throwing at you, and you're doing something with it, right? You're not just receiving it as impact, right? So unlike, let's say, any of the other fighting styles, you're giving impact, you're taking impact, and it's more of a fiery style of fighting, right?
You know what I noticed real quick, and I want you to finish. Tell me if I'm on to something. And this is only because I love martial arts and I'm a Tekken fan. What I've noticed that from watching my daughter do Hapkido and from me watching her sensei, right? It's like a tri combination of. It's like the tri-chucks, one of my favorite martial art weapons. Anyway, it's like the tri-chuck. It's a 3 combination of grappling, tai chi, and taekwondo, tai chi, and grappling. And it's like somehow another, it's like this like hybrid of it. Oh yeah, I pays attention, but go ahead.
Yeah, no. It is. Don't get me wrong. It has the tradition of Aikido there, but yeah, you're right. There's people think it's all just wrist locks. It's like, no. Before they throw you in that wrist lock, they getting up on you now. And if you get you on the ground, that it's gonna be a different type of wrestling because they on top. But it's like, it is a combination. I'll be honest with you, depending on the sensei that you got, they will teach you other styles to add to it. Like in my training, I have let's say like mostly boxing and Burmese kickboxing. We do a lot of kickboxing and boxing in addition.
Real quick, Lola, if you don't mind, just for those who may not be hip, what is the difference? Okay, you didn't say regular. What is Burmese kickboxing for those who don't know? Because I'm a huge Muay Thai fan.
Yeah, Burmese kickboxing is like Muay Thai, right? With knees and elbows, and they really condition a lot to basically to take it. But again, Hapkido is not about taking hits. However, there is that element of making sure, for instance, when someone is when danger is coming in, it's a question and you have to be able to answer it. And sometimes it's best to absorb a hit and sometimes it's best to avoid it, right? So this is what we're talking about, making something strong weak, because you can avoid something and cause the sheer physics of it to demolish itself. So, you don't have to actually do much with that. So I remember seeing my sensei one time, somebody threw a punch at him and he just diverted the punch and the person fell on the ground. He didn't actually do anything to them, but just diverted their punch.
It's called reverse force of energy.
Correct.
Right. It's reverse force of energy. So you actually took the force of the energy they brought to bring to you, and you did so smooth, it just pop. You know what I'm saying? I'm already here.
It takes a certain fight IQ to do that, though. Don't get me wrong; it's easier said than done.
because of timing.
Yeah,
timing. It's like literally believe it or not, although people aren't, it's to a degree in that style of martial art, it's almost equivalent to having to try to catch a bullet or like an arrow, like somebody arrow and you about to like hit one of these with it. Like it's not as easy as it looks in the movie. It's not.
And then you know what? I wouldn't be surprised if somebody tried to train somebody in their fight IQ by training them to catch an arrow. Like I wouldn't be surprised.
Let's get back to this right here. Let's see what your boy talking about. Let's see what your boy. Oh snap! I'm on the wrong jump. Hold on, I'm on the wrong screen. Shit. I don't know how'd I get here. Hold on. 1 second, y'all. My bad, because I can't push play. I don't went off. I'm on a different screen. Let me go here. And let me drop this. 1 second. Here we go. Wow. Okay, so here we go. Now let's get to it. What the? Oh, I keep going to my video. That's why. It's the same goddamn thing. Tripping. All right, there we go. My bad, y'all. All right, let's get back to it. Let's go, Lola. I got you, fam. Let's see what we got.
Are the depravity of man.
We got that part. So the only thing that can corrupt women is the decay of men. Okay, so I made a statement. So let's just walk through it. Your mind is very tangential. It's all over the place. It's scattered. You need to think linear.
You're a linear thinker. You see?
Oh shit! Hold on, my bad, y'all. Actually, no. His mind's not scattered. What sits on top of his head is actually scattered all over the place. I almost want to call my stylist and ask if she has a chair spot open. Let's get back to it.
The depravity of man.
We got that part. So
I'm just saying, listen, I know how to separate between a nigga looking crazy and a nigga talking with some sense. Because look, when you come from the hood, we all then came across a couple of them people in our lives. Let's be for real. Man, they might even have a little slight stench. You be like, God damn, nigga, what you got finished riding a horse? But listen, but for some reason, they just be dropping gems. Like, you just don't get it. They just be dropping gems. Let's get it.
The only thing that can corrupt women is the decay of men. Okay, I made it.
And that is what we're talking about, ladies and gentlemen. If you're coming into the building right now, the time right now is 8:48 p.m. East Coast Standard Time. Thank you for tuning in to Smitty's Corner, featuring the love experience with my family, Lola. All right, so look, we're talking about male feminist thinks that men are the downfall of women. Let's get back to the video.
A statement, so let's just walk through it. Your mind is very tangential. It's all over the place. It's scattered. You need to think linear.
You're a linear thinker, you see? Because you think
I'm a linear thinker, so listen, stop.
To think properly, you still think your thinking is the best way to think.
Okay, well, we're going to see. So here's your claim that you made. Your first claim is that,
exponential growth
listen, bro, you just talking. I got it. I'll let you speak, but I'm trying to give you a chance to actually say something that makes sense. Let me repeat it back.
What I'm saying, though.
No. I'm.
You've yet to tell.
Now, one thing I will say, regardless of who's ever come up, he does listen. I recognize that even in myself. I try my best.
When did he start listening?
That's what I'm saying. Like, he don't. That's what I'm saying. Like, I do notice that. Like, he don't listen to, like, and even when people, like, even when he does allow people to speak, I notice endless times I'm like, that's not what they just said. Bruh, how did you just repeat that? What's going on? But you trying to say all about how women talk out of logic and stuff. I'm like, bro, you just let me shut up. Anyway, what you got?
I see him trying to revamp his style. That's what that is, because we listen to videos like what you referencing of people saying the same thing. Like, sir, you're listening to other men and you're not repeating them back correctly. And when you re-roll the tape back, you see that you're not repeating them back correctly, and you sound very, let's say, chaotic, and not in a feminine way, because femininity is not chaos in the sense of not knowing shit. That's not what femininity is. You're just on some other shit. I don't even like saying that men are acting feminine in to say they're out of order. I like to say they're in their toxic masculinity, because you can, no matter how feminine you think you are, you'll never really be feminine for what nature says femininity is. You won't. So it's like the guy that with the hair sticking up or whatever, at this moment, right, he's acting very toxic in terms of his own masculinity, because he spoke at length, right? And Cooley did listen to him, even though Cooley is getting his rightful karma right now. Cooley did listen to him, so he has to give that man the same level of respect, even if he thinks he's taking shots at him. He got to give him back that same respect as a man, because if you're saying that the downfall of women is the lack of leadership in men, part of being a leader as a man is being able to hear shit you do not like and still maintain your frame, and don't be swayed by it, meaning have control of when you respond and why you respond. Women, on the other hand, we have to hone that in very good. So it's like he's not doing exactly what he's supposed to be doing based on the point he's trying to make. But Cooley, okay, for once he listened. Cool. Hold on, where you go at? Oh, there you go.
No, my bad. I apologize. Forgive me. No, I'm trying to add something. No, you good. No, you right about that, because I actually noticed that too. I'm like, okay, because listen, you are right about that. Like, what I noticed, how the change came in me as a man peeping to another man, is they stay up there longer. Generally, I remember he even would make sure he even dropped them faster. Like, if you're not saying what he, you know what I'm saying? Or even people that he felt as if was making like valid points that he really couldn't maybe contest. Oh, you know what? I'm gonna go ahead and get to the next caller. So you're right. And so I'm just kind of like, I'm really concurring with what you're saying as far as yeah, I peeped that, because he definitely has chilled out on. Because listen, and I've even heard him talk about how, like, you know what? All right, you guys, you want to sit up here and keep on saying that, you know what I'm saying? I don't want to have the discussion. All right. So what we noticed is from that right there, it's getting to him. It's getting to him.
Right. He's getting his karma.
Right. You see what I'm saying? It's starting to get to him. He not liking that right there. So let me go ahead and get up out of here. Hold on. All right, boom. So let's get back to the video. Let's do it. Let's see what we got.
No, I'm wrong.
Just pay attention. I muted you just for a quick second. So understand what I'm doing here, because I'm not being disingenuous. You're making claims. The reason why I'm stating them back, because you don't really know how to articulate yourself that well, which is fine. I'm not trying to shame you for it or anything or hold it against you, but I'm still manning your position so you know, and the chat know, that I understand your position, how you're actually saying it. I repeat, since you have a hard time articulating yourself, I'm still...
All right, so is he having a hard time articulating himself? Let me get up out of here. Bow, there we go.
He's not.
You see what I'm saying? Like it's the way he has these smoke debates that kills me, Lola.
Yeah. I see exactly what you're saying with that, because he low-key being passive aggressive, and he think that man is supposed to be, as he would call, feminine with him, and just take that shit, right? And it's like, you don't need to tell him that he doesn't know how to articulate himself. All you need to be is articulate. People in the audience got a brain. They can tell the difference. Like, nobody needs to know, nobody needs to act like Jay Prince went to college or didn't go to college. We know how he talked and why he talked that way. But at the end of the day, you don't have to educate us on how much he's not educated. That's not what you need to do. But see, he needs to throw a shot first, because he don't feel like he can win unless he sit and throw a low blow. That's essentially what a woman would do. What a woman does is she disarms you in a way that you can't really like come back from, and then she goes on an attack, because she can't just go in attacking you, because one, she's going to be perceived as what she's not. Two, she's going to forfeit certain benefits to do that. So it's not to her benefit to do that. It's to her benefit to disarm you first. That way the attack is better. But it's like at the end of the day, he is not doing, neither one of them, frankly speaking, is doing what they're purporting that men should do. Neither one of them. You see what I'm saying? He's over there acting like men aren't the problem. Cooley, if men ain't the problem, you the problem. And on this guy's end, he's talking about, men being the downfall of women. Listen, sir, don't ever say that and not fully represent. Don't do that. Mm-mm.
Oh, hell no! 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 Oh, hell no!
My mic is muted.
And repeating it back to get clarity so we can know exactly what you're stating. Okay, that's all I'm doing. So then we can have mutual understanding and we can walk through the logic together. All right, so now I'm going to stillman your argument again from.
Hold on. Now, shout out to my boy Beans. He don't never try to stalemate nobody. He want to checkmate your ass. You should be confident, okay? You should be confident. I should be hearing a checkmate right now, sir. Not a stalemate. Stalemate means you didn't win. Stalemate means you kept yourself from losing, literally in the game of chess. That is what stalemate means. You were able to dodge enough attacks because your defenses was down to the bone. It was down to the gristle, if not just the king. And now you got 16 to 12 to 22 moves, depending on how you play. We all know how I go on that board. A stalemate means you dodged a loss. Let's get out of here with that. So you, bruh, stop it. God damn it, Jim. I tell you, boy.
Beginning to where we are currently at, and you tell me if I have it right or if I have it wrong. Because if I have it right, we can continue on and get to the next point. If I have it wrong, you gotta reiterate your position again. Okay, fair enough. So your point was women are the only way women can be corrupt is by the decay of men. So men.
I really pray and hope that his camera's just froze right now, because if he is actually not frozen and just in that position with your head already looking the way it does, Coolio Jr. the third.
Are you serious right now, bro?
Are the ones that actually make women corrupt. Is that point correct?
God damn it, Jim. This nigga was not froze. He just blinked.
Motherfucker, are you out of your damn mind?
Correct.
Second point, I asked you a question. Do women have agency? You said, well, women have free will. I explained
What does that mean, Lola, in the woman's form, as far as when men say, do women have agency?
I'll be honest with you. I'm not really. I'm not. I don't consider
either.
Yeah, they throwing out a bunch of words, that word salad that really. If what he's trying to say is, can a woman think for herself? The answer is yes. We all know that. That's kind of silly and childish to ask someone. But if you're gonna say, is a woman's decisions premised on anything other than the fact of, let's say, instinct? Like, yeah, it is. Like, we can scientifically prove that. Like, but what he's trying to do is act like the man. He doesn't want to acknowledge where the truth is in his opponent's statement, and that's one of the first rules of debate that you have to understand. You will never win a debate if you literally just go against everything the person is saying. You gotta single out what they're saying, acknowledge the truths in it, and then deal with where they're wrong. Because if you keep on just going at every single thing they say, you'll be in an infinite loop of wrongness that they can infinitely come back at you with, and that goes back to the stalemate situation you referenced. So it's like, I don't. Do they have agency? Yeah, in some way, in somehow. If you want to say, can they represent themselves? Technically, yes. Technically, no. In some sense, but I mean, I don't like this word, Sally. You know what I mean? I don't like it. But let's see what his point was, because I gotta get ready to skip out. But I do want to see what he getting at.
Nah, bet that. Let's go ahead and get back to it. I digress. My mic is muted. I appreciate your time, family.
Agency? You said
I did not say women have free will. I said all human beings were given free will.
If all human beings was given free will, doesn't that mean women have free will?
Don't say it in a way that you want to say it, other than the way I said it. Simple.
Okay, got it. But does that mean that
I said something other than
got it? Does that mean that women have free will, though? Yes or no?
If they're a human being, they have free will.
Got it. So yeah, you're just playing semantics here, man. That's what you said. The next claim of what I explained, your next claim and what I've explained, though.
I'm sorry.
I said, okay, do you mean that women have agency? I explained agency with responsibility. They must take accountability. You said, did you say yes to that or no?
At that point, that was when we had our standstill and you muted the mic, bro.
Okay, so
he is known for doing that. I can't say he didn't do it.
Answer this question. Should women be accountable for the decisions that they make, yes or no?
Once their decisions can be made separate from any influence of man, yes, they can now be held accountable.
What are your thoughts on that?
He's not articulating it correctly, but I see where he's going with it, and I do agree with him though. He's saying
he communicates like a woman, because you know what? It's a lot of stuff he's saying, and I'm a whole man, and he's a whole man, and I'm just lost. And for some reason, you just keep seeming to get it. What is that? What is that?
The reason why is because as a female, females typically have a bit more gray brain matter, and they think from both sides of the brain a tad bit more than men, just a tad bit, not a whole lot.
I give it that.
But to his point, what he's trying to say is this: if you make one argument, right, you have to claim what's on that side of the aisle. You can't not claim it. So if you say women are the subordinates of their rulers or their leaders, right? They're the subordinates of their leader. And so women, they don't have the ability to think rational, right? And they don't have the ability. If you keep going into what they don't have the ability to do innately, right? You can't sit and say they have to be held accountable. Because if we switch the word woman and say, babies don't have the ability to think rational. Babies don't have the ability to, why would you hold a baby responsible for its own actions, let alone expect it to hold itself responsible? If you just claim that it doesn't have all these different faculties that are necessary for self-accountability. What he's saying, and I get what he's saying, he's not making a definitive position. What he's essentially trying to get Cooley to understand is, hey, women do have free will. However, let's not forget the fact that everything anybody wants to do is because there's a circumstance that facilitates it. Period. Nobody does anything on their own. There is no such thing as an independent woman. You don't have a house because you built it and you grew all of the wood for it, and the seed was because you did some shit. That's not what that means. Independence is there's really no such thing. If independence means, hey, you don't depend on nobody to earn dollars for you to pay your rent, cool. A lot of people are like that. I know a dog they sent into outer space that did some cool shit too, by himself. That's what that means.
As in a gerbil too.
That's what I'm saying. I think animals do some shit similar. So I'm I have really seen animals do some really wild shit like that. But
real shit.
Yeah, real shit. But this is what I'm saying. It's like Cooley can't sit and say that women mentally are not on the same level as men, but then turn around and expect them to be self-accountable like men. And then compare them to men and say, you're not accountable like us. Well, why should they be? You just literally just describe them as beings that have no sense of being accountable.
So how do you not say that we should be held accountable, then turn I got you.
So to his last point, when he says, well, they have free will as long as nothing is acting on them, right? What he means by that is to say a woman can make a decision and you can hold her accountable if whatever she did and or the reason why she was doing it wasn't being influenced by a man in some way, shape, form, or fashion. Sure, you can hold her solely accountable, but the problem with that is there's no such thing as a decision being void of something else, let alone someone else, and typically another male. Like there's no such thing. So he's cornering Cooley, but Cooley doesn't see how he's being cornered. It's like really, and I'm not really agreeing or disagreeing with Cooley per se, because Cooley ain't making no real point. But I will say that, I mean, no woman is making a decision with a male for mating from a position of what she didn't learn as a child. When you, like everything you do is tied back to that. So it's like, if she's making a decision that don't have nothing to do with her childhood, nothing to do with her adulthood, nothing to do with any other man that scarred her, nothing to do with any other female that made her life living hell for her not to learn. If she's making a decision purely on her own accord that has nothing to do or influence from anything else, sure. But that's not real. So I assume, and I gotta get ready to bounce, but I assume that this guy, even though he's not articulating himself well, he understands a basic concept that you cannot separate men and women. And it don't start with male and females having sex. It starts with men and their daughters. It starts with women and their sons. You understand? Like for instance, the reason why you have this strange connection to your grandparents, right? It's really because your mother didn't really give birth to you. Your grandmother gave birth to me. You wasn't carried in your mother. You were carried in your grandmother. And this is something that most people don't understand. Our connection to each other goes deeper than just relationships. When you was in your mother's womb, right? Keep in mind your mother's egg, which is part of you she's been with, was her inside her mother's womb. So when your grandmother carried your mother, you were inside your mother as a baby. That's how we come to be. So your connection to your grandmother is not simply because you grew up with your grandmother. Your grandparents have a psychological place in your psyche that if that is not filled, because it's not just about dads, it's about other people too. If your grandparents don't fill your life, you'll notice in your life there's a certain void that you have, right? As a person, but it's subtle. It's more subtle than it is for parents, but it's still there. You understand? Same thing with siblings. People that grow up without siblings, it shows up in their attitudes as adults. And it typically, they have to learn how to really be in a society correctly as an adult, which is harder than if they had siblings. Why? Because we're wired a certain way. So it's like, I get what the brother trying to say. I get it. But truly, it's a basic concept that Cooley doesn't want to accept because he wants to put blame on women solely for the way society is set up. And what I'm saying is society is set up this way based on so many different things that have nothing to do with men and women per se. But people don't want to admit that because then they would have to admit that, you know, when you marry into these families, i.e. Cooley, okay, what you're doing is extending the monarchy that said that your genetics are inferior unless it is, you know, mixed with their genetics. And that has been a global issue for thousands of years, you know, like seriously, Cooley. All right. You know what I mean? He need to learn a bit about history before he come trying to talk to anybody at this point. But I digress. It's been good. I gotta get off, call my baby, and get on some other things. But sorry to just crash.
Thank you so much for coming through. I gotta get on to what I gotta get on to as well, and I appreciate you, family. Thank you for giving us your wisdom once again. And with that being said, everybody, Lola's up out of here.
My mic is muted.
I'll holler at you, family. Respect to you. All right, y'all. So before we get up out of here, right? Look, I like to end stuff off on like a dope ass way. You know what I'm saying? So I like to end stuff off on like just, I don't know, ways in which we can go ahead and stay connected. Let's go ahead and end it off like this. Let's do it. Like dead ass when I say that. Let's go.
Any shit that is about in relationships. Stupid shit. Dumb shit. You know? Like I want to get married. Dumb shit, right? 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 Dumb shit. Because women don't understand what it takes to be in a marriage. You don't understand what it takes to be in that motherfucker. How much love and consistency we gotta have. How many times you actually gotta take me back and accept my apologies. You understand what I'm saying? Because marriage is till death do we part. Till death do we part. You can't leave me because I cheated twice. Bitch, did you die? No, you still alive. You still gotta be in this relationship, bitch. Come on. Marriage is for better or worse. Do you believe in the vows of marriage? Do you believe in the vows of marriage? For better or worse. If I cheat, shit got worse. That don't mean it can't get better, right, fellas? Right, fellas? You see, this is why they keep fucking leaving us, because we ain't got no fucking unity, you know what I'm saying? We ain't got nothing, like women break up with us in unity, you know what I'm saying? As soon as you go to work, it's 4 bitches in your fucking house, and that bitch taking everything you got.
Are you serious right now, bro?
Oh man, this shit is absolutely out of this world. Hold on, man. Because I'm just sitting here listening to these. But we gonna get to it though. Hold on. We gonna really do it. Oh man. Hold on. Give me 1 second. I'm almost done. All right, hold on. All right, y'all. So here we go. Let's go and see what my man is talking about, like right here. Let's get it. This dude right here is definitely controversial. So let's just go ahead and flow through it. I got about 15 more minutes. I'm just trying to hit a certain time frame. Let's do it.
I do not roast people. I just tell people what they look like to me. Everybody calm down. Everybody relax. Like this. Little risque Disney princess is what you got over here. I can show you this pussy. I like that. I'm just checking it out. I feel like one of y'all ain't never been to this show and you invited the other one, like, oh my God, it's great. And you're not impressed, like this your first time here. Just looking, I like this little face, man. Whose idea was it to bring this young lady? How y'all know her? Who is this to you? This y'all mom? Did mom invite y'all or did y'all invite mom? You know how I know? Because mama fuck with niggas. I want you to know that this close to having them curls. I want you to know it was this close. I know your mama from back in the day, she used to have a bob, but this side was dyed, the rest of it was red. I remember. I remember you. From the hood. Okay, Black Panther in this bitch. I ain't seen you since the waterfalls, brother. This was you. I almost didn't recognize you without you doing this. Okay. What up? Shut up, nigga. Show me that watch. Nigga, like, yeah, you see it, nigga. I don't know what you do. You know what? I feel like you do some shit and you really good at it, but you mad that don't nobody know. This nigga the best at something. We don't know. He just on Twitch every day. Yeah, I can eat 17 jelly beans.
Ah, man. I got one more for us. Now, of course, always, gotta save best for last. As always. We're gonna go ahead and do this. All right. So this shit is wild, but we gonna go ahead. This one right here is definitely wild. Well, let's go ahead and get to it. I like this definitely. Now let's see what we got right here. And I digress. My mic is muted before we get on up out of here. I appreciate all of y'all for tuning in. Thank you very much. So hold on, let me just type this in. I apologize. Bow. There we go. I didn't even know I had it right there. All right, there we go. Let's get it. Let's do it. Hey, I ain't gonna lie. This is a wild ass story. Now this story right here, crazy. I'm just waiting for this commercial, so don't mind me. I'm just stalling. I'm just stalling for this damn commercial. Let's go ahead and do it. I can pull it up now. Bow.
My birthday was yesterday. My wife, she almost fucked it up, though, I'll be honest. She almost fucked up. She almost ruined it because she had went out the night before, right? She had went the night. On my birthday, all I wanted was a cake and to watch the games. That's it. That's all. Sock it to me, cake, leave me the fuck alone. That's all I want, right? She went out the night before, got messed up with her friends, right? Drunk as shit, and was hungover the next day, which I don't care. Do your thing. I don't give a shit. I don't care. I was like, yo, I'm about to head to the gym. And she was like, just to let you know, in the car, my friend spilled a drink in the car. And I was like, okay, all right, right? So I walk up to the car. First thing I see when I walk outside is a pizza box on the line, right? That let me know you was fucked up and had no business driving, right? No business driving. So now I'm pissed. So now I'm pissed off, and I'm excited because now I get to cuss her out because we don't get to be right a lot. You know what I'm saying? So I'm pumped. I done prepared a speech in my head. I'm walking outside. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna tell her this pizza box is irresponsible. You know, you're gonna leave me with these kids. I don't want to take care of it by myself. I don't even like these motherfuckers. You know what I mean? So I'm getting my speech ready. I'm about to cuss her ass out, right? I open the car door. I see in the back is a bottle of spilled Ciroc all in the back seat, right? Then I see there's vomit in the passenger seat.
Oh,
right?
hell no!
Her friend threw up in the passenger seat.
Oh, hell no!
Are you serious right now, bro?
See, I gotta clean this shit up. So now I'm living. Now my cuss out game is on another. Now I'm like, okay, she thinks it's a fucking game out here. Like I'm hot, but I don't want to go in too hot. So I go to the gym first, right? And the best time to go to the gym is to work out when you.
Yeah, because I hate you, coward ass niggas. You a punk ass nigga.
7 million pounds on the bench. 7 million. I was just sitting there like this bitch thinks the fucking game. Like, I'm ready, right? So I drive home. The whole time I'm going over my lines. All right. You gotta get it right, right? So as soon as I get home, I run straight to the shower. I don't want to see her yet because I got to rehearse. I got to get all my talking points down. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to. I even have my rebuttals ready to go. You know, just in case he says some shit. I had that ready. I was gonna go full hard husband. You know what I'm saying? Like you had a pizza box and the guy tell me, hey, don't talk when I'm talking. Like I had all that shit ready to go. You know what I'm saying? I had all that shit ready to go. And fellas, sometimes you gotta do that shit. Just like, shut the fuck up. You right. You gotta do that. You gotta let, even if she's mouthy, because she knows there's a level.
Oh, hell no. Oh, hell no. Oh, hell no. Motherfucker, are you out of your damn mind?
Are you serious right now, bro?
She's like, nigga, he's serious as shit. Okay. You know what? Here. I'll do that. I'll do that. I'll do that. I'll do that. You're right. Right? So I had all this ready to go, and I'm hyped. I'm excited about it. I'm excited. She comes in the bathroom and goes, "Hey, before you ever say anything, I just want to apologize. I was out of line. She starts apologizing. You bitch! Like, what are you doing? You ruining my shit!"
Oh, hell no! Oh, hell no! Oh, hell.
Motherfucker, are you out of your damn mind?
Are you serious right now, bro?
I had this speech prepared. I had written my notes. I read you coming here being an adult and shit. What the fuck? Like, I was hot. She was, I was out of line. My behavior was uncalled for. And I'm just getting mad as shit. I'm like, I can't believe she's taking this from me. She's like, I don't want to ruin the rest of the day, so I just want to apologize now because I want you to have a great birthday and I'm making you a cake. I'm going to suck your dick later. I'm like, this nigga here. Oh my God, bro. You got the nerve to suck my dick? This bitch selfish, nigga. Oh my God.
Let's blow. If you get out there, shut the fuck up. These guys are trying to escape. What's wrong with you, you goddamn snitch? God! Oh. It's you. Thank you, you sweet, kind man.
I'm so mad. God, like, who offers to suck your dick? Like, I was hella mad. Then she's like, we have bowling plans. We got to go bowling. I was like, I don't want to fucking go bowling, man. Like, I'm mad as hell. And then she hit me with, she's like, but I already paid for it. And she know I hate wasting money, so I got to go bowling now. So now I made plans, but it turns out, right, I get to the bowling alley. I walk in. I see Ron, his wife, my mom, dad, all my friends. She had ran a surprise party for me. You know what I mean? And I was like, okay, that's what's up. And then she did suck my dick. So it was great. It was great. It was fantastic. It was fantastic. Porn style. It was disgusting. I'm like, okay. All right. Then I started getting nervous. I'm like, where the fuck you learn this shit? You know what I mean? Like, I started getting... It was a good day, though, man. It was a good day.
See, now this is what I'm talking about, Shabambu. Yeah, niggas trying to hide the good shit.
Hey, baby, you want to dance?
Yes, I do. But not with you.